magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Ice Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkness of the night, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats in rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless.
Are taking this law, yeah, they dripping straight fire, so there's no chance at all. Yes, y'all, cut through the layers with a hacksaw. Deceptions and manipulations, that's your fatal flaw. Just a matter of time because I know we're the all. These doses upgrades as we here standing tall. The family will catch me if I should never fall. Cause we're in it till we win it, that means the long haul. Worldwide like hypertext, triple protocol. Standing here in and out, nobody ain't wrong. I'm meant to put you forward, ain't no way we let it stall. Consciousness in the balance, so it's more than just a brawl. Keep it on, but this is no curtain call. You losing all your power means you can't enthrall. Find the right portal, time slows to a crawl. As creative means you rise up and crush like a ball. Find the universe, as live as it gets. Yeah, we focus and we feel, and this is the mindset. And that's the one, get the whole team, and now you can bet. We recognize our true power, not your marionettes. Yo, find the universe, as live as it gets. Yeah, we focus and we feel, and this is the mindset. And that's the one, get the whole team, and now you can bet. We recognize our true power, not your marionettes. Yo, find the universe, as live as it gets. Yeah, we focus and we feel, and this is the mindset. And that's the one, get the whole team, and now you can bet. We recognize our true power, not your marionettes. Yo, find the universe, as live as it gets. Yeah, we focus and we feel, and this is the mindset. And that's the one, get the whole team, and now you can bet. We recognize our true power, not your marionettes. Yo, travel at magnificent speeds around the universe. Travel at magnificent speeds around the universe.
You have the right to engage, here's some tools of the trade. Source, meditation, hip-hop, and sage. You have the right to resist fake gods and tricks. Designed to divide, they live in between the lines. Enjoy the ride, eyes open this time. This world's alive, within worlds collide. Incoming transmission, activate the tribe. As your ego dies, now sending you positive vibe. I put up a fight, I purge, I cry. For the first time tonight, it just feels right. Create as we rise, we anchor the light. Inside of a heist that's set inside of a heist. It's a tribe we rise, sun rays to sunrise. I am, we are the spark of life. Surprise, turns out it's been us the whole time. See the all in you because it's all inside. As live as it gets. Yeah, we focus and we feel, and this is the mindset. And that's the one, get the whole team, and now you can bet. We recognize our true power, not your marionettes. Yo, find the universe, as live as it gets. Yeah, we focus and we feel, and this is the mindset. And that's the one, get the whole team, and now you can bet. We recognize our true power, not your marionettes. Yo, find the universe, as live as it gets. Yeah, we focus and we feel, and this is the mindset. And that's the one, get the whole team, and now you can bet. We recognize our true power, not your marionettes. Yo, find the universe, as live as it gets. Yeah, we focus and we feel, and this is the mindset. And that's the one, get the whole team, and now you can bet. We recognize our true power, not your marionettes. Yo. around the universe. I'm as live as it gets.
Around the universe, as live as it gets. What is up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme. Right here. Each and every Saturday night on Fearless. And I am joined by my ethereal translator and co-host, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone. There's always something to do.
What is up, everyone? Taking my time tonight.
Better, right?
Working it slow. Oh, yeah, that's all right. Tonight's sponsor, Platinum OG.
Oh, that's what this
and
is?
Skittles. A little bit of both. How's everybody doing? What's going on?
Oh, yes. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
And happy day after Black Friday. Happy Saturn's Day. Happy joy. It's good to see everyone. We took a little time off. We had some stuff to do. Getting lost in our own business. And it's great. Shit has to go down the way it has to go down. But before we get into any of that, listen.
Andrew.
Andrew,
Everyone's
it's
here.
exactly who I want to talk about right now is Mr. Sly. Andrew Sly. Excellent shaman.
Love your videos. Love them.
Comes out, starts doing a video. I think he was talking about presenting it forward, his knowledge, and how he can share it. I believe that's where this was coming from. And then, boom, he pops up showing you how to do Hape and sharing some knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're waiting for. And you're like, well, what are you waiting for? Well, I do a show about me. I present a group of individuals that are coming up through this as well. And that's what the group is for. It's not always for me to do something with the group personally and whatever. This is for us, our family. I'm not necessarily the head of said family. I'm the guy that broke through first and said, okay, let me come up with the idea. But you guys were all at the same time looking for the connection.
Right.
So when it went down, it's just family, right? Like however it got there, however we joined and came to, it's for us. I gave up on the, well, this is my show and shit. Like, I don't do that. I've tried over time to share on networks and to be with other people like-minded like us. And it never works because everyone's fucking competing. Well, you know what doesn't happen in my room? Competition like that. There's no need for it.
Right, everyone should, they just come together and it's great.
Well, we're all learning and rising together.
Yeah.
So there's been points where shaman have come through, and we have multiple in the room, or even if you don't want to be regarded as such, someone who took the reins into their own hands and stepped forward and presented themselves out there. So Shaman Tiffany, the Golden Lantern, Robert Hawley does it all the time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and as we watch people rise and come through, I mean, we're learning. I'm learning about stuff.
Yeah.
I have no clue. People ask me questions sometimes.
Every day.
About other uses of the sacred medicine or other ways to make it, or do you use this and that and this and that? I'm like, nah, man, I'm basic. I just use this, and this is what I know. And unless I've tried stuff, it's just hearsay for me, right? So if you want to master at it, you can go to someone like with Hape. You go to the person who understands it, balls to bones, someone that respects it beyond, someone that can teach you and show you, and then send you on your way with that bit of knowledge. So then you can go and pay it forward as well. People say to me sometimes, like, now what? Now what? Now what do we do? What are we supposed to do now, man? There's lizards and reptilians and monsters. And I go, we got to pay it forward. We got to wake more people up. And it's like, well, you don't got to be Captain Save-A-Ho. But at the same time, you have to share. This is knowledge that we share. I understand people with their pay businesses and everything. You have to do something. And I understand making a living on it and whatever. But there's other people that have the knowledge and they're not coming forward. There's always a trick to the trade or a loop to jump through or a hoop to jump through, and drop your email and I'll give you the rest of the 45 minutes of the. This is all bullshit. Go straight to the source. You'll learn in 5 minutes.
Well,
So in our group, the Fearless family, we have people who've broken the mold. They're no longer who they were, what they were. They're advanced versions of all the things that they could imagine they could be. For the moment, we're going further. We're learning that change is inevitable and you might as well embrace it. We're going with the flow. We're learning to let go, release your chains, grow your wings, time to ascend. Like, we're going through all this part of the process. And at the same time, we're also raising children, saving, rescuing animals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Taking care of family.
You
know,
going through our own business.
You know, suffering loss. I mean, you know, some of our dear family members have, you know, Fearless family members have lost people recently, and, you know, our hearts go out to you. You know, people are fighting. Oh my goodness.
Angela, I love you. I love you so much. You're the best. See, another shaman pops up. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm getting chills everywhere of like, like being, usually we get like this rush when the show starts and things start breaking and start malfunctioning.
Oh yeah, not
tonight's
tonight.
like
it was easy like Sunday morning tonight.
It's like a hug, like a warm hug. And I see that everyone's here. There's so many people here tonight that are have done it, have stepped up and stepped through, that don't just listen to the show. They hear what we're saying. They know this is basically what I said to you the other day about reading the Bible, right? I read the Bible because I went to school and they forced you to read it. And the only thing I took away were the parables. So we're a living example, which is just like a parable through wisdom, right? We're showing it to you. It's up to you to step forward, because ain't none of us, I don't care who you are, has the whole answer, right? We have the answers we have, but it's not the whole thing. So we need you.
Little piece of it, little piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Puzzle.
I'm just the one talking because I'm like, I got a show and I'm going to tell you all about it. But then you start to go, okay, well, what about me? And this is the problem with doing a show and wanting to, like, I don't know, popularize yourself and be like that guy or that couple, or
don't do it.
You have to just release it. Like, it wells up and it comes out. Right? Me, I had this in mind. I don't know if I should do it. Talked into it. It took a full year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the things that went on for a year, my brain was breaking. And then I said, "Hey, get out of here."
You know, she's restless. It's Reggie.
I'm like, we have to do something, but it can't be based on certain things, because this is information everyone needs. So any ear that is in earshot, that it'll perk them up, should be able to tune into that frequency and see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There you go.
Thank you.
All right. So we're all beginning to tune into that frequency. Okay. And I said a long time ago, and then recently again, we get to a point where it's like the dark guys are pulling in timelines, right? So ayahuasca and mushrooms are making this very simple for me. Here's the line up the middle. Frank's on this side. He's like, I want my optimum timeline. So Frank's doing his work, but naturally, who knows where the work's going to show up? He doesn't maybe know what the work is, but he says he's doing it or whatever. So there's like the optimum 3 timelines. All of them are really glorious, but one is just really the one you want. That's like, I want that. All of that in the list.
It's like plan A, B, and C.
Yes, plan A, B, and C. And then they have that as well, the darkness, right? So they're on this side and they're going, we're going to get everyone. We're going to mandate everyone. We're going to lock them down. We're going to be able to be in Hollywood and rape children and go full pedophile and bring it public. We're going to walk Satan out. We're going to hold him by his balls. We're going to make you see them in public. We're going to have people collapsing all around. We get the idea. Okay. Then they have one where there's like Hillary Clinton in charge, or she somehow slips in where they get rid of Biden because he has, obviously it's not even him, but let's just say dementia. And then Kamala, who's not someone that I think is legal to actually be anything. So we were looking at her the other day. She had some stuff, but there was some stuff she didn't. And I was like, that's not legal.
Yeah, we were looking at the criteria for president and vice president, and there were changes. There were amendments made to the Constitution
that we were totally unaware of. Being fourth generation American before you could be part of anything.
That's not a thing anymore. It's that they amended the Constitution for the presidencies.
When I was younger, they had this thing. You had to be fourth generation American, or you couldn't be part of any of the big game, because I was going to be a U.S. Marshal.
I was going to go into government service, and I couldn't.
And I could. And I wouldn't do it because they said you'll go to Washington and you'll be protecting politicians for the first 3 years. You'll just be standing there like a, and they were like, you can't do anything. You're just babysitting. And I was like, that's not what I want to do. But then when we looked the other night, it wasn't there. All of that stuff was, it just said amended.
The amendment was there.
Oof. Okay. So
anyway, yeah.
So just to push through this. So then if they want this, if we can't have the reptilians just walking around eating people and sacrifice people to Satan, we want to get someone in there. So then they remove Kamala and put Hillary in. It's just a timeline. Right. They're trying to force it.
It was a different timeline.
Right.
Okay.
And then there's one where we kind of fight them back a little bit and then fall into submission. So it's like a softer kill.
Kill me slowly.
Kill you slowly, right? So what they're doing is tricking you to pull any one of these three in because they're desperate. Naturally, they want the first one, but they'll take anything that has to do with more time at this point, but they don't have it. Whereas we are fumbling in here, but you're pulling this over if you're paying attention to it, right? So if you're worried about Kamala, if you're worried about Joe, if you're worried about Hillary,
then your reality is going to be different.
If you're worried about who killed Kennedy, and you're worried about if the earth is flat, and you're worried and you're worried and you're worried, then the key word is worry. You're pulling that in regardless of what you're doing here.
Fear.
Okay. Hey, what up, Oscar? So anything fear-based pulls in that timeline. Holy moly. Thank you so much. Really, really. We love you so much. That was an amazing. Thank you so much for that super chat. Wow. Totally blessed, thankful, and grateful right now. Wow, I'm shaking. That was really nice of you. We love you. So we're pulling in fear timelines, or we're not. This is just how it works. And you're doing it subconsciously on different levels and on different layers. You're doing it for yourself, and you're doing it towards that. You don't even know it. That's because we're programmed. We have programmings flying every direction, right? Mm-hmm. Like no matter what we do at this point, it's almost like they're trying to do something to us.
It's like a counterattack. It's like attack, respond, counterattack.
Like a chess game.
Not as subtle as chess. Very
It's like it's the way a snake would do it and just wrap you slowly. And then you're like, well, I'm still okay. You go take a deep breath and then it waits. No, you let it out and it constricts a little tighter.
Yeah, a little tighter and a little tighter.
So it's over time.
Because it kills you slowly. So we realized that, Frank and I were talking, well, because we're always talking, but Frank and I were talking specifically about depending on what side of the fence you're on, skews the way you hear the news, and we're not going to get into anything politically because we try to stay away from that. But depending on what news you listen to, you really get a skewed case of what's going on. We were talking to people about,
say whatever. We're not liable for nothing.
Anything in particular. And it's there's the media, and then there's the real news, and it's a really
the media has not said the truth they've been lying for a very long time,
and
but now it's
gonna
it's ugly.
Now it's gonna come to a head, and now they're going to be held accountable for a lot of the things that they said, but it's also going to force people to really see what we've been trying to explain for a long time. You can't, just because you're watching it on the 6 o'clock news does not mean it's true. You you talk to some family members and, you know, the world is coming to an end. And then, you know, Frank and I are living in this bubble and everything is good and fine and wonderful.
And you'll get attacked for being in the bubble.
Yeah,
They'll be like,
you
well,
know.
how could you not?
How could
and
you
how
not
could you
know?
what?
You
and
didn't
then you're
know
not part of that?
It could possibly snow this week. It's like
the fucking wind is blowing. You didn't know. I'm like, well, there's a solar storm. What? The other day, I was telling Paula, it looked like the sun squirt a toothpaste tube of sun explosion directly at our planet. And the wind has been for 3 days brutal here.
What about the clouds? Was that
yesterday
this morning or yesterday?
We were
morning?
looking up and it was the craziest.
A whole patch of the sky was moving.
And the rest wasn't.
In front of the other patch of sky, and it was moving independently. And Frank and I watched it for about, I'd say we watched it for almost 2 minutes. And
it was dizzying to look at because
it's amazing because
you're trying to find the edges and then you see how big everything is and the way
that's why we watched it so long. Remember, we watched it go across.
You went in the house and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you're right there. I almost feel like they're riding.
This is like something that people aren't noticing.
They chemtrailed us
right in front of you
for like a week.
Oh yeah.
Right. And then you know,
through the clouds. Remember, there was a little break in the clouds,
and we saw the chemtrails from behind. They were doing the sun. They were getting us at night. It was really awkward. So I'm like, here they go with the chemtrails again. But then this other thing happened. The wind picked up. Right, the weather changed. It wasn't chemical rain. It was, we should go inside. It's a little. The wind isn't normal. This isn't normal stuff.
That was
we got to go inside right now.
Was last weekend.
And it's almost like they're flying low in the clouds.
Yeah.
With the weather fronts pushing it and cleaning it
or doing something.
They're doing something, charging the atmosphere, because they'll even say to me at times, you have to go inside. Don't come out to smoke.
Last weekend that happened, remember?
Just
we kept getting the message, go inside.
I get to the front door and I'm like,
go inside.
All right, I'll just put this down. I'll go back inside.
Go inside.
And then it's almost like I'm being ushered back in, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" I just want to step out for a moment.
Doesn't matter if you get the urge to go to do something, you should do it.
Yes, and then so when you're getting the urges, you're listening to your spider sense, and you're moving through with the flow of the energies. You'll find yourself ahead of the game every time. You're a few steps ahead. Remember, when a building is collapsing, or if something's striking, a bullet's, somebody throws a chair at you, that one little fraction is a lot when it just flies by your face and you're okay. That's from listening to your gut. It's like, move. But I'm already, we said
doing
this,
it. Yep.
It would look like magic at our level. Now, I'm not saying I walk around and do that. I'm just saying when your awareness goes up, things in nature, stuff around you is dictating certain things to you. Specifically, your higher self is tuning directly into you, like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Your guides are trying to speak. There's relatives there. They're trying to talk. It's like you got to tune in and listen. But the minute that goes down, I get this all the time with traffic. Like when I have to go out to Brooklyn or I go hang out with someone.
Oh yeah, the best.
They'll be like, no, you're not leaving now. And I'm like, why? They're like, do we have to explain what the timeline looks like? So I go, I don't even want to know, because they'll show me 80 car accidents. And then they'll show me the one where I just go, and there's no red lights. And then I'll go like, what the fuck can I get? Oh, okay, I could leave. I'll get the green light.
All the time.
And you won't hit a red light.
Right. Remember when
a 30-minute drive takes 22 minutes because you never stopped.
Green lights, Remember when we went out to dinner that one night and there were two, and this is like a 10-minute drive.
When we went to Rayo's.
No, not Rayo. That was. We
pulled up. There's no spaces. I don't know what to do. Bloop, space right out front.
Planets aligned. There was no traffic.
They were like, you guys got a space right there.
No, that was just a beautiful. That was a beautiful.
These
day.
are little things to bring into the awareness.
That was one beautiful day from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. But like, there was one time we had gone out to eat, and we went on Tremont Avenue, and it's literally 10 minutes from here, and there were like two major accidents or traffic jams, and I was like, if there's a third, we're going home.
Oh, this is a while ago.
Yeah. The universe telling us you don't belong near here now.
We try to make multiple turns to do there's only so many ways you can like leave the neighborhood and
Right.
get onto highways.
Yeah, and
you get stuck in
honey,
an
you see
area
me on top.
in our area where you
Honey.
just loop back around,
Okay.
and you could go north or south, and that's it. And you come back into the neighborhood, you got to go across the neighborhood, which is annoying.
To go east or west.
To go
yeah.
east or west, and it's like, man, I got to drive 10 minutes that way now to just cut over and then come all the way back. So we made the 2 turns, and we were blocked at both turns.
Right.
And Paula goes, if there's one more block, we're out.
We're going home.
This
because
is-
that means we're not
you're
supposed
not
to be here.
Supposed
Yeah.
to be doing like
yeah.
where you're at.
We go grocery shopping before Thanksgiving, and we had to stop at your mom's first. We had to pick up the turkey for Thanksgiving, and then we were going grocery shopping for Thanksgiving. So we go pick up the turkey, and now we're trying to do this as we try to work with traffic, and we try to work with the time of day, and we try to work with like the easiest way to map out the route for errand running. So we go to Frank's mom's first. We do everything we have to do there, pick up the turkey, go to the supermarket, and Frank left his wallet and his phone back at his mom's house.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst feeling in the world.
So I was like, no problem. I said, we could still I have my wallet. We could pay for groceries. No problem. I said, or do you want to run while I'm in the supermarket? Do you want to run back and go get your stuff? Because you're going to need your phone later. If your mother has a problem, you're going to need to have your phone anyway. So he was like, no, it might take me
45 minutes.
45 minutes to get back. And I was like, okay, well then we'll go together after. And then, but because we sent love ahead.
Oh, when we
got
did
out,
go back, it went blip, 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 blip. I go, how did this just happen? There's no traffic.
I know, but it seemed like it could have
No,
been.
because earlier the traffic.
I know, it's just terrible.
They closed off the whole neighborhood, like the little escape routes. So you have to go on the main street,
like just to get from here.
And it'll go back a mile and a half, and there's multiple red lights.
And there's like congestion and double parking, and it's one city block.
It's everywhere. Don't let her fool you.
No, but one major point of contention comes down to one city block, right? Williamsbridge Road, that one block.
Yeah, it takes
6
6 minutes to walk to my mother's, and it takes 12 minutes sometimes to drive there,
or 15 minutes to get there by car if there's traffic.
And I'm like, what the hell?
Thing. And it is just.
They have those little scooters that you could just scan.
Oh yeah,
it's almost like I want to sign up for the Lime Company just in case there's an emergency.
I told you the day she
all
got,
over. I could start running, click, jump on, take off.
You could have got out of the car, and we didn't even think of this. This is how stupid. You could have got out of the car and walked, and you probably would have been there the same time I pulled up in front of the house.
Yeah. Fuck this place. It's a clogged artery. We're arguing with a fucking artery that's clogged, and it's like connected to my heart.
It's like a
we're gonna argue with the clog? No, get the fuck out of here. We're done with you. You got to get out. What does that mean? I got to get healthy. I got to do something different with myself. What is it now? G-Hog, I left the Shaman residence things up because check this shit out. We are nowhere near where we ever were, and we're never going fucking back again. You can't. She's rising. Mother is rising. Everyone is rising.
Everyone is rising.
It's going forever. So yeah, the Shaman residence is up. We go up to a level, and then we're like, oh, thank God it's not that the next day. It never dips back to where it was a year ago.
No.
It dips a little, like it's like Bitcoin. It goes and then it flies up again and then comes down a little bit. And then I'm like, holy sheep shit.
Right.
Now there's no going back.
No.
So your shell is breaking
open. That's why everything is so confusing and difficult right now.
If you were made of stone and the real you was inside and we launched you into the air.
Like porcelain, you would have cracked.
It starts cracking and falling off. And then eventually you break out.
Right.
And then you fly. Meaning freedom, and then down the line it means you fly too.
But these things were overcome, and they were overcome easily. I guess that's the point.
Listen, we're in the future. Check this shit out. I clicked on something right before the show, about an hour before the show. I was telling Paula, this guy said, I want to fly. So I'm like, I'm totally interested. This fucking guy's got me. So then he's in a squirrel suit. So I'm like, oh, I love these things. We watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they were fighting in the squirrel suits against Falcon. And I'm like, they have no shot against this fucking guy. So this dude is like, I go to BMW and I'm like, here's my design. I want to make myself aerodynamic. So they're like, with the squirrel suit, this video was only 2.5 minutes long. BMW and him come up with a fucking flight design. These 2 fans that strap on to you when you put the squirrel suit on. It just wraps on and it's not in the way. It's like right on your chest. It's like if you had blip. And then they're like, yeah, we're just going to drop you out of the helicopter. And then he goes, okay, this is what we're going to do. We need to find a really tight spot in the mountains. So they're like, well, there's this mountain range right here. There's 3 mountains. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to fly through over the mountain range and then through that little thing in the middle. So they were like, good luck with that. 3 dudes out of the chopper, dropped them. Fucking fans activate. He's flying. Okay, he's flying. Got to be 200 miles an hour and is able to maneuver with no problem. He goes through and it's like slightly more than his shoulder is allowed or you're dead, and flies right through it. No fucking problem.
That means he has full control of that suit.
He said it was so functional in the movement.
That, yeah.
If you just flexed a little, like it'll work with you. Okay, that's now. What's next year? This dude already did it. There's guys flying around like the Green fucking Goblin right now on gliders. There are many one-person jets, not jets, drone type things that pick you up and take you off. All right. So before any of this was shown on video, Frank was here on audio back at TFR, literally saying, I had ayahuasca, and then I said under we say some frivolous, stupid shit sometimes when we're under. I'm like, should I get a new car? I think I should get a new car, right? But I love my car. And she's like, your next car is gonna fly, kid. And I'm like, what? So she's like, here you go. And I was standing with Paula, and we were walking through a doorway in an apartment. And then I'm like, we were talking. And then we go walk through one doorway and there were seats. And she sat in the far one. I sat in the other one. The fucking, it was attached to the side of the building, right? And then it closes. So you're inside now, your car. And the car's bright fucking red too. I was like, this is like a Transformer looking, like it looked dope. And then I saw the fans I was like looking out. And they were there and they just activated. And it just detaches from the wall and it pulls away and it takes me and you to our house in like 5 fucking minutes. But yet we're in the country. Listen,
I'm good with that.
So I look down and I go, we get to fly. What about everyone else? And I'm looking around and it's fucking, these things are everywhere. So I'm like, this is dope, but it's not like mag left levitation, shit like that. It's like drone quality at this point. She's like, this isn't far in your future at all. She goes, look down. So I go, yeah, what about all the people everybody's still driving cars, huh? She goes, they don't stop.
Yeah, your car is there, dumb.
You got your car parked at the house.
Right.
This is not far in the future. This is shit that will work with the existing stuff around you, and then you'll just have to add components like a door in the, like in the window. Instead of a window, it becomes a door that that car will connect to, or your drone will attach to and stay there. And then they were showing me shit like, and for the ones that don't do that, there'll just be areas where your drone car sits. Like they're just stacked
like a helipad.
And when you need it, you're like blip, blip, and it just comes to you. All right. So now I'm going to show you that this is true on an easy level. I was looking at for properties that we don't have yet, but we want to get a drone to just go up on the property and take like a dope shot and everything. So I was looking at drones, and I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on this. So I'm just like looking at one, and it's like, no, check it out. This drone is dope. It literally, you activate it with your phone and it goes up. If you don't set it, you could set pinpoints in an area, geotags, and in the height and the distance that you want from you, or There's 3 settings: close, medium, far. This thing just follows you and records you. That's it. You just go. You get in a car, you leave, it fucking follows you.
And records it.
And it
which is
records
good.
everything. So you go for a walk to the store, you could put this thing on up at high and go for the walk. No one will know that this thing is following you specifically. It'll just follow you though. And then you call it back to you. Blip, blip, blip. It comes right back.
But how good is that if you have kids playing outside?
I can't tell you whether this is good or bad. Technology is just technology to me at this point.
Of course, but like,
So,
you know, I mean, think about the uses. You know, you got kids playing outside. It's an
Amazon-
extra pair of eyes.
no, you're right. Oh yeah, okay. So you're in a building,
Or you're going for a
and
walk
you live
and
in a
it's
building,
late.
and your kids are playing outside.
Or
So now you can't get outside fast, so you
or-
send the drone out.
or you're in your backyard, or you're taking a walk with your dog, and it, you know, you have bears or bobcats or whatever.
So they find the video. They know what happens.
Mhm.
How many times does the video come into question that we literally pull a video in front of you and do the is that you on the camera? Were you lighting that fire? This is the recent Kyle Rittenhouse trial, right? Like everyone was lying that was against him. So they had pulled out the fucking tape. You could watch all this stuff too. And they said, "Is that you starting the fire? Is that you?" He's like, "Yeah, well, we were doing all this other shit and then blah, blah, blah." Okay, is that you pulling out a handgun? You're a felon, right? You have a handgun? Okay. So you pulled it out, and then what happened? Well, you could see he blew my arm off. Oh,
Well,
he
what
did.
happened before that?
Let's go to the tape. They go to the tape. Dude pulls the fucking gun out, chases him down. He still doesn't do nothing. And then he puts it in his face and cocks it like, "I'm going to fucking shoot you in your face." And then he gets shot in the arm. Not dead, in the arm. Who you bullshitting? Who the fuck you bullshitting? Okay, so now this technology comes into play. But
Mhm. But think about it.
these are the things saving the day. Because if not, it's just, I'm a powerful person. I'm a lawyer. I'll make it look good. You lied. No, I literally didn't say that. This isn't what happened. Nope, he's a liar. Racist. He's definitely a racist. Right? You're like, what? There's no way to battle that. It's just words against words against words. But then that comes into question. And you're like, oh, shit. Oh, shit is right. You want to turn the tide on the villain, you could use tech against everything. You use it's the old judo way, but all I'm saying is the flying cars. David Wilcock was talking about, I watched one of his things like 3 months ago, and he was like standing in a military warehouse, literally filled with flying cars. Filled. Remember, he was like, "I have government orders for rescue vehicles." I was telling you, like, the idea wasn't for the public to have flying cars. He said, "We got orders from firefighters that were like, oh, you can go straight up and go with that and then dip right back down. Can you do that with lifting 12 people?" Right. That was like the first one. And then the other one was to grab a bucket of water, like up and go. So he's like, I got massive orders immediately. Then it went to, how can we get these up in the air before the enemy can attack us if the enemy's in the air attacking us?
But I think originally it was for like search and rescue stuff.
It was all search and rescue. And then he said it went military.
Sure.
Naturally, they're like, can we get 200 of these up in the air if the enemy are attacking us in 30 seconds? And he was like, yeah, but you can't really heavily arm them. Like, they're fast, but they're not going to be machine. Like, he was discussing it. And then it got into public. Okay, so he's in this hangar was so big. I don't even understand how big it was. It was really big. Looked like it was a mile long, at least, in sections, with the warehouse having all the pieces, and they were putting them together. So if he's doing that, who else is doing what? Right? How far away are we? What do they know that we don't? Not the bad guys, the good guys this time. Forget about the dark ones. We don't have time for this. The dark ones are like, we're going to do this. No, you're not. We're going to make you. No, you're not. We're going to mandate. No, you're not. This is how you got to battle them. No, the answer is no, no, no. You ever stiff arm anyone?
Mm-hmm.
The government's like, I'm like, nope. The government's like, I'm like, nope. Right? You just keep doing that and move through everything else. But we get to springboard off what's incoming, right? So if this is a big theater, say everyone's arrested already, and this has to just play out now. It's like a movie that's literally a movie, but in real life, like a play. Like if you went to Shakespeare in the Park, they're standing right next to you acting, right? If you interrupted that performance, they're still going to act within. They have to, right? Like you're not supposed to break character and all that shit. So this is kind of like what they're doing to us, right? Like an evil Shakespeare in the Park. We are going to eat your children. Num, 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 num. We're going to put poison in your bodies, but you're going to do it to yourself. Num, 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 by choice. Ha, ha, ha. No free will for you. Take it away, right? And we're watching this going, this has got to play out because it's written. So on the good end is like, we're going to watch this play out. And then we're going to show you what's been going on.
But this
really
was planned for decades. This is decades in the work.
Like mad long.
Like a plan that's been in the works since the government started.
It's kind of like above and beyond my own pay grade when it comes to making a plan. Even though I'm in on the bigger heist with all of you.
No, this plan. This is.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many.
It's a world plan.
Right. I'm saying there's so many details that it's above me.
Yeah.
Like I can't. It's almost hard to wrap your head around, but the idea is not to. The idea is to step out of it and look at it and go, oh, that's what's going on, right? Like this has to be disassembled completely, right? Like if you were arguing with a venomous snake, right? And the snake is like, look, I'm a snake. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to bite that baby and then I'm going to fucking eat it. And I'm the father. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, well, listen, snake, we don't appreciate you doing that. We don't want you doing that. And I don't want you in my home. And the snake goes, well, I'm a snake. I'm going to come over there and fucking do it anyway. He just starts coming over. He's getting closer and closer and closer. Smack the head of the snake and take it outside and get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. Good doesn't mean not swinging a sword. Right? I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to raise consciousness. I want to do good, but even heroes are presented with that fucked up choice.
Right.
And it's like, well, you basically have no, I said this to you the other night. They're not human. They're wearing human outfits, right? So we're debating things about certain topics, but they're not human. So they're evil on a level that we maybe can't even comprehend in our human form. And they have us debating inline stupid stuff. And meanwhile, they're like, ha ha ha. So the only way to step free of that is to completely back out 100% and go for yours. Go for, I'm going to get some land property. I'm going to exercise, get my health good. I'm going to go drink ayahuasca and fix myself. I don't know, whatever.
But I'm not going to listen to the news.
And
I'm going to spend less time on Facebook and social media. I mean, it's programming. It took me a solid year to break programming. And then right when I was almost through it, I threw myself back into it, and I knew better and I did it.
How did that make you feel?
At the time, I didn't realize it. It took almost another year for me to realize what I did because of programming. You're so used to living and feeling a certain way that when you're living contrary to that, and when you're feeling contrary to that, you're confused because it doesn't feel normal. So whether it's good or bad for you, it doesn't feel the way you're used to feeling. And I crawled right back into it, and I had to reprogram myself again. And it's hard, I mean, there's programming on so many different levels. I mean,
but that I was making it simple the other night when I was talking about the programmers, right? Like you gotta remove yourself and look at it and go, oh, okay. So we do that. And then what do we do? Are you ready? What's next? Now what do we do? They can't do shit to us. I'm infinitely stronger than all of them in every multiverse, in every layer, everywhere. Okay, so they're not coming. Okay, now what are we doing? Freedom, right? Now I'm busy ascending. I got work to do. This is a fucking process, right? I'm not selling a comic book. I'm not writing a book and trying to pass it off. We're living this. So it's hard to just talk about the process. Like, you got to go through the process and then have something to say. If not, you just show up one day crazy. Oh, look what's happening to my fucking world is falling apart. Wow, Frank's really having it hard this week. It's like, no, let me go through it first before I claim it to be hard or this or that. Because I'm just an emotional mess. And then all of a sudden I'm not. And I got my shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bounce back like a tennis ball, but not like a football. Right. 100 and something FIFA soccer players dead.
No, not dead.
No, they said it was refs, coaches, and players that died.
I thought they were just really.
That was the article I was reading right before about an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago.
Isn't there a league? Only
I think it's on my page. I don't remember because I watch what I post now. Because actually, I'll punch myself if I get fucking flatlined again. Because really, we have Sons of the Sun. Shout outs to KG.
You really have to be careful.
I have. That's my business. That's what I do. I like to make music, so I can't just.
You can't.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I got to toe the line. I don't monetize anything because they fucking,
it's just easier not to. It really is. I don't even want to be on social. I don't even want to be on Facebook anymore. But I can't leave because I have fearless people that I talk to through Messenger, and I need to stay connected somewhat. But I just want to live in the woods. I want to plant. Just leave me alone. Like,
hands in the dirt. Let me go.
Hands in the dirt. Yeah.
Like, we thought about a lot of things, and like what motivates the future, and we don't want money being made through certain means to be like an essential part of the future, to where, like, we got to run ayahuasca sessions 36 times a year to pay the mortgage or something. We're not doing that.
No.
We are motivated by our vortex. Angela Miller, you ready? Our vortex. She was here when I saw my vortex. She was sitting there all quiet and I was looking at her, and she looked like this fucking powerful, but she was keeping it tight and just
of light.
Watching, and I was like dipping my toe in my vortex was kind of small. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I was like, the void is spinning underneath me, and why is it orange? Wait a second. Why the fuck is hers orange, and why is it like 20 by 20 in every direction? I go, mine's only like 6 feet by 6 feet. Like, I could have just fell it. It was weird. So I dipped my toe in it. That was one of my first experiences with the vortex, seeing it. I dipped my toe in it, and I was like going around like, what's in there? Is there something going to bite me? And they're like, no, you manifested that. I go, what do you mean? What's in there? And they're like, whatever you put.
Hopes and wishes.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like a giant wishing well.
Yep.
And they're like, not a wishing well, a manifestation well.
Placeholder.
I think just like, you just take
storage locker,
make it in your mind. You ready? What do you like? I go, I'm really looking for this kind of bench thing and whatever. Bench, and they go, oh, workbench. These two dudes pull up the fucking coolest bench, but it wasn't what I wanted. And come on. And they like dump it into the vortex, and the vortex opens up, it gets bigger. And I go, no, that's not what I want. And they go, what do you mean? We're sorry. And I go, no, don't be sorry. I dove into it. And then it was like floating inside. I could see the object I wanted. I took it and I came up with it like this. I said, it's not this one. It's, can one of you help me? And they go, they started flipping through. This is why I know we're in a holographic thing.
Mhm.
It was like images, but they were like really there in 3D when you saw it. I was like, oh shit. It's like a magazine coming to life. And on like the third try, they got the exact fucking thing. I go, oh my gosh, that's exactly it. They're like, oh, this is called that. It was one of those things with was it a wardrobe?
Yeah.
Right. And you're like,
you know,
no. It was just big dresser. Yeah, it was a
the
wardrobe. And it's like, that's what they call those things. That's what a wardrobe is. It's like, yeah, it's a big fucking dresser. Right. Going through that. These are all layers. So then we found the right one and put it in. And then they were like, dude, that's how you do that. Now hold the thought in your mind, right? What do you think when you see that thing? I go, I'm not really into objects and possessions like that, but that would be really fucking useful. And and then what happens? We wind up building the table. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this table is the fucking greatest thing since
using your workbench, we built the table.
And I'm like, this is fucking awesome the way it's. But anyway, so it's getting faster now and faster and faster and faster. So we play with the vortex, but now the vortexes on everyone are opening up. We see people getting homes, doing crazy things with their lives.
Oh, having babies. Yeah.
Good way. You see countries where it's basically a drug country turned to Bitcoin. And then they're like, we're making Bitcoin City.
Oh, yeah.
I told you guys, South America. What was it? Ecuador, I think is.
No, Venezuela.
One of those places is.
Or El Salvador.
They're like, Bitcoin is their national currency, right? And they're buying it and then they're staking it, making so much more money that they're like, okay, so this year taxes will go down perhaps up to 30%, perhaps. And then that jacks out the next year because they're making all that extra money. So they were saying like your money will just make your currency, not money, your currency will just make more currency, thus providing you a freedom to do stuff for free almost. Because I was reading all about it and I'm like, Bitcoin City, you'll go in, you'll use your Bitcoin, you'll use it there, and then it's using every piece of Bitcoin that's not being used at that very moment. It's like getting staked immediately,
right?
That so when you walk out, you're getting your money back and you're leaving. If you even decide to. And I said, what's going to happen? They're going to have flying cars in less than 10 years. This is how it's done. You go straight innovation. Yeah, we don't give a fuck what they think. We're not doing anything. I'm not hurting you. I'm not hurting you. Am I hurting you? No. Okay, so we're good to go, right? I'm not hurting myself. Are you okay with it? I mean, we want to plant some trees. Wait, is there anything wrong with that? You got a fucking problem because we want to plant some trees?
That's it.
We want to meditate like a bunch of fucking hippies in front of our potato boxes. Look, don't get me fucking started. Some of us have simple things because we've been so frustrated through life, right? So it's more of a simple thing. But when you really take a look at it, because we've been looking at it really deep, you and I, for as simple as we're like, oh yeah, it's going to turn into amazing.
Yes.
It starts one way and goes to the next.
Of course.
Okay. So I saw under mushrooms my future self. And he was
See, you did a lot of holding and talking, and
I tried to give it to you 4 times.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks for cutting me off for that one. But okay. So I saw myself and it looked like me right now. Not really. I'm a little chunky and whatever.
You're not chunky.
Says the giant belly right here. But for me, that's big. So I saw me and he was happy and he was talking, he was cooking food and he was doing it for someone. He was asking a question and then he looked over and I said, oh, he can't see me. And then he goes, yo, I'm talking to you. You fucking listening to me? So I'm like, you talking to me? And he looks over, he goes, yes. Take a look at this shit. This fucking place is great. And I'm like, where are we? And then he goes, I'm you in the not so far future. So I go, how far? He goes, look at me. And he goes, all right. I look just like you, right? And I'm like, yeah. I noticed the tooth wasn't fixed. Nothing. Like it was me. This is why I was bugging out. I'm like, how much longer? He's like, not much. So I'm like, how is this possible? And he goes, how is anything possible? You just go and do it.
Right.
Things start falling into place all of a sudden. And because you're working inside of a matrix that is there once you clean up your karma.
Yes.
And you're doing your hard work.
You don't raise in vibration to go backwards.
That's
you don't
the universe
raise
rewarding
in
you.
vibration to suffer and be sad and be miserable and unhappy.
More coffee.
No, I'm
Tell them about this. This is
you
important.
don't raise in vibration to cry every night over things that you can't fix. You start from now. You start from today. You start from where you are. And you build on that, like when you go out on a date or you make a new friend, you don't give them a resume of everything that went wrong in your life. You start from your meeting, and they can see what kind of person you are and they can see your character. They don't need to know your resume from 20 years ago because you're not the person you were 20 years ago. You're not even the person you were a year ago because we're constantly raising our vibration. We can't go back. It would take something really big and you'd only be set back for a while because then you'd spring right back up because that's how this works. You wouldn't be hearing this message right now if you didn't already raise your vibration.
You wouldn't even know.
You aren't currently raising your vibration because these would just be stupid words to you.
I agree with that statement. So hardcore.
This would sound like babble and ridiculousness, but the story has been the same. What's the matter?
Me and Kev, when Kev has jokes, we were talking, and I started talking about Bitcoin and how crazy it is and what the future is going to be. I was showing him some of the stuff we were looking at, and I'm like, yo, just send me good vibes, bro. This shit is fucking ridiculous. There was too many synchronicities going off. It is
ridiculous.
Well, I had this thing was named after my grandmother's nickname, and then when I was telling Paula, which was the next day, all the things were checked off on the list, and then I said, "Oh my God, could it be?" But no, I could never reach that amount. That amount's too crazy. And then Paula looks and goes, "Yeah, that's easy. That's not that far out of reach." So then,
piece by piece.
Yeah, and she broke it down in 2 seconds, and I'm like, "Yeah, right, whatever." So Bitcoin's basically got to go up, blah 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 blah. And I walk outside, open the door,
has to go up,
and this fucking bright red cardinal's just sitting on the fence looking at me.
And that's Lola,
and that's her. That's my grandmother. And then I'm like, "Hey, bird." Bird was red like this, bro, sitting right there, and I go, fucking looking at me. "Hey, Viola, is that you?" I'm like, "Paul the bird. There's another one here." Then 3 blue jays, bro. They all just show up. They start eating, acting all stupid, and that bird just staring at me. Doesn't even fucking flinch. I'm like, wow, there's cats in the yard. And then all the little birds came. Yeah. And I went, Paul, it's like a play. And then it's like, okay, cue the birds.
Yep.
Dude, it was that weird wind. There was one of those little sparrows on the fucking branch, and the branch went,
I know, and he just stood on it.
And he stayed on it, and I'm like,
hang on tight.
Yo, that little dude's got a core workout right there. How the fuck did he hold on?
They hang on with those little legs.
And then that all happened, and then I went slowly back. I was watching the bird was just watching me. I'm like, "Oh, the bird's still fucking looking at me."
I know.
So I'm like, "All right, bird, do you need food or anything?" And then I'm like, I think they're telling me everything we're talking about is like, this is them confirming, and then confirming again. And then you look at it, you read it, it's confirmation in the words.
Because it's all attainable. Anything anyone ever wants. The idea that it even popped into your head means that you could achieve it.
Well, because they said, like, you
think about
they
what
were
I
like,
just
you think
said.
Too small. That's what they told me a while back.
Right.
And they were like, you got to open that up a little bit. So I'm like, well, I'm not greedy. I'm not needy. And they're like, think of yourself as an ambassador and a caretaker, not as like an owner and a like, they're like, let go of that shit a little bit. So I loosened up, and then all of a sudden it was like, I can do that. And then I started healing, and I'm like, what's going on in my body? How come I look better? Yo, there's some cats my age. I'm not taking shots, but around here that I grew up with, Remember that kid in the candy store? I was like, I had to get away from him. We saw him in the store over
he looked
here.
like he was 60 years old. The guy in the what about the
He's
man?
like,
in
Frank, it's and I
the
was
man
like,
in
yo,
the,
what
the
the
man in
fuck?
the discount store.
That's
looked
the one
like
I'm
he was
talking
60
about.
years old.
Okay.
Not that 60 years old. I'm just saying.
No,
That's
he's
20
my
years.
age.
Yeah, that's 10 years.
And we hung out our whole lives. And I was like, I don't know what happened, but it was horrifying to see my friend that I grew up with like that. And he's still, I go, you living around here? I'm still living in the same place. I was like, well, I've never. All right. So it's almost like the frequencies just fucking flip. And then
You
we
see how
share
fast he ran away
space.
from you
So
after he talked to you for a minute?
he was like, okay, and took off. And I'm like, dude, I grew up with him. He's actually, I think, a year younger than me, which is even more frightful. That puts him at Rich's age. And then you go, wow, look at Rich, look at him. And we all grew up together.
Well, I'm
And,
gonna be. I'm
but
gonna
there's
be
a lot of
the
that.
same thing. I'm gonna be 50
Okay,
in
so-
February, and there are girls that I went to high school with that are younger than me that look 5 or 10 years older than me, and it's like, oh my god.
No, it's a different kind of. It's like
I don't know.
You see, I don't want to say it the wrong way because this sounds. I could hear how I'm sounding.
No.
and I
don't
say
mean
the
it
wrong
in
way.
a bad way either. I'm just.
You can almost see the sickness growing in them, the old age growing in them, the stress getting to them, the just the hard life, maybe the struggle, maybe the demon, maybe the reptilian. Like it could be anything.
I just think it's.
And we're so not that anymore.
Coming from a place of love, not fear, because it does lift something off of you. I mean, it really does.
It's almost like we're going backwards.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're hitting, like I progressed to a point of old, and then I just hit the knob and it went backwards to 7. Like it just dialed back, but my physical body now is taking its time to heal.
But that's what you had
but
said.
The process is starting to go faster.
When you told me you saw, that was a dream you had, right? When you said you saw you saw yourself in the future, was that a dream?
Nah, that's when I was sitting out here just eating
the mushrooms. Yeah. Okay. When you had told me that, you specifically said to me, I was happy.
So happy. I said it to you today too. I never saw myself like that. I mean, I'm happy, but I've never viewed myself like, who views themselves that way? Like you don't get a chance to step out and then look back, and then the guy's like, I'm fucking happy.
The fact that you took away that you were happy.
I don't act like that, but I know that guy
was awesome.
He's like, no, you don't get it. This fucking place is amazing, man.
It doesn't matter what the place is. The place will be amazing just because we'll be there. It'll be amazing because this place was nothing. This place was a cold, dark box. The whole house. It's a 3-family house. Whole house was a cold, dark box. And 2 months after I got here, it started to lighten up and brighten up. And then the birds came, and then the cats came because they find me everywhere. And then
I did a shout out to Buddy. I mean, halfway through our experiences here, I had holding a cat, met Space Jesus in the fucking front yard.
Yeah, that happened right away.
It happened 12 in the afternoon, and I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yo, the love that you guys have. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, no.
But that's what I'm saying. We had
what it takes.
A turtle wandered into our yard. A turtle that dug up from the dirt
with a horn
that looked like it had been. It was like a snapping. It was big.
It was big.
It was like this big, and it looked like prehistoric. Not many people know this because I didn't know this, but turtles bury themselves in the dirt to like hibernate for the winter, and then they dig themselves up. So we came up through the yard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had so many weird things happen on this concrete block.
We've had everything from ET experiences to animal experiences.
So wherever you are will be wonderful because we're there and we're bringing all of this stuff.
I think that's
so.
It just there was a feeling that I've only remembered. And I swear, I've never. So viewing yourself will change you if you see something that you wish you had, or I'm like, listen, I'm inherently a good person, and we laugh a lot.
All the time.
But that version of me was way happier. So he was explaining, like, No, look around.
Look around. You were making
you
eggs. You
have
said
to
you were
see
making
it.
eggs.
He was cooking for someone who I couldn't see,
Mhm.
and I didn't. There was no hint. Was it you? Was it this?
Right. Just
no
someone you
hint.
couldn't see.
So then he kept talking. Then he just looked, and he's like, "Yo, I'm talking to you." Yeah, he was holding my hand.
I got his paw on top of his leg.
And he was like making eggs on this really nice. And I had made a few comments. I'm like, "Yo, this kitchen's really nice. Not too big, not too small." And he goes, "Listen, forget about the kitchen. Look at me." So I looked at him, and he was like, "Look, I want you to look." I'm like, "Yo, he's wearing clothes I have right there. Like, it's nothing changed." He's like, "I'm not far in your future." He goes, come with me, look around. And I saw the archery area. I saw the dogs. They all came up one at a time. And then he was laughing at me as if he was young Frankie, not Frank Castle, this, that, just Frankie.
Yeah, just young Frankie.
That's it. My name's Frankie. How are you? Right. But he wasn't a dummy. It was me. But he was so not even satisfied. It was an excitement. You say it all the time. Like, if we put 4 hours in a day each, it'll just run
It's
whatever.
it's
a
40-hour work week. Yeah.
So yeah, but split between two people. So it's a 20-hour, but it's really the two of us working together,
Right.
maybe sometimes in shifts,
Right.
doing things the other doesn't do or whatever. Right. Okay, everyone gets play with it. However, the output is incredible, and then it's not it. I'm like, "Yo, this doesn't feel like work." It doesn't. He goes, "I make music and play with the fucking dogs and smoke pot. We look at the plants." And I was like, we had the whole line, the way we talk about outlining the property, it was being done.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, the dog run was ridiculous. It was this giant stretch. It wasn't as wide as the whole thing was wider than a football field, but it was sectioned off nicely and open.
It's gonna happen.
The dogs,
Frank.
I go, you can't let the dogs run like that.
We think it's
the bear are gonna attack them and eat them. And they were like, yo, there were other people there. They're like, yo, calm down, relax yourself. There's nothing here to hurt the dogs, and there's nothing here to hurt. There's the cat run right there. And I'm like, the whole gate thing was gated in. So I'm like, how is this even fucking possible? They're like, you've been building this the whole time. It's a hologram where it feels real. It activates. It does fucked up things because we've been in the fucked up stuff. But we're from that not being there. Okay. We were, like I tell you guys, I argued with the reptilians so hardcore when they were like, this is our planet.
Yeah, no, I'll take this one.
They're like, this is our planet. I'm like, no, it's not. And I go, how can you say it's yours? Oh, I was here first. Right. They're like, we were here before you. I'm like, really? Are you sure about that? Because I wrote the Gaia program with everyone. And then she, the consciousness, the great female consciousness went in. So then we were there and all this good shit was going on. And then all these other things showed up. We didn't really know what evil was because we were fucking good. Good meaning lived in symbiotic nature with everything as what we were. And they went and split us into man and woman by convincing us of certain things and showing us certain ways where we could spread that goodness like it was the fucking gospel. And they tricked us in. However, on the next level up from that, it wasn't a trick. We all knew it was coming. We all knew it was going to happen. We all contracted to come in here to fucking handle this. So it was like before. So we hear let's go to the now moment. We hear the cry, Gaia, I need help. So we come to the planet as the helpers, light workers, light warriors to come uplift the planet. But we didn't just show up on the planet when we heard the call. We went back in time to the beginning because we realized this was a time thing. So we were just in the very beginnings of it when it was born to now and in the future. We're creators. What are you, fucking nuts? You don't get to play the game with us, right? We get to wake up from the game and come out. The game's still the game. The game's going to go on. Game's not over. It is for those who come out of it. For those who stay in it, stay in it. For those across the universes and multiverses that are in any form of any game or in the game.
So the multiverse is real.
Absolutely. Well, remember, there's evil Paul is sitting there right now going, I'll get these motherfuckers one day. And I'm like, shut up, Skeletor. Sure. Right? But we don't have time for the distractions. So it's like, no, the answer is no for all the distractions. Yes, there's responsibilities. Don't get shit confused. Right? You got work to do and you got work to do. But this is part of it. It's a new way of teaching. It's a new way of understanding. It's a new way of learning. It's a new way of experiencing things. It's things like frequency and vibrations and activations and groundings and expanding and extensions. What? It's easier just to plant something and go, I love you. I love my cat.
Because it goes forever. Two stupids. I love you, Frank. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to get a Christmas tree that was cut because I didn't want to waste the Christmas tree. So I said to Frank, I want to get a tree that's potted in a pot that we can plant. We can put decorations on and then we can plant after Christmas. And he said, okay, no problem. So long story short, we ended up getting 4 of them. So if I would have gotten a Christmas tree, it would have been cheaper and it would have been easier. It would have been
the same. It would have been $100.
No, it would have been a lot less. Well, yeah, now with inflation and everything, would have been
those half sizes.
I know.
Were $69.
I know. You're right. You're right. It would have been. It would have been. Yeah.
Luckily, it comes with us, and we give it more life.
Well, we were hoping we can keep them alive.
We can keep them. I want to keep you guys.
I know. I hope we can keep them alive because remember last year we killed them. We bought 2.
I don't even know how the fuck that happened though.
I think it's because we used that coconut husk. I think it dried them out.
I don't know. I have no answers anymore.
I don't know. We have to talk to
the garden fairies.
Someone, not McDonald, probably knows. Or I mean, it's just a Christmas. It's just a tree, but we killed it. We killed 2 of them last year, so I felt terrible. So we have to figure out what we did to kill them last year.
What?
It's terrible.
No, I know. I watched it go down. I didn't know what to do. I picked it up and it was a block of ice, solid ice, and I was like, "How did this happen?"
I think it was just the perfect storm. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, we've had problems with plants this whole year.
Yeah,
and then with other plants have remarkable success, as you can see. Well, you can see it.
Well, I can see it. They look beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Will you help?
I do help.
You made the
I just get frustrated with plants because it's like I feel like I'm always waiting. And sometimes it never works, and then you're waiting forever. And
our little babies, I don't know what's going on. I had to scrap
the whole thing. Rob, Golden Lantern, we lost everything, and then go ahead.
Except 3 plants,
and then we harvested, and
the yield is
they dried out in a day and a half in the tent.
The yield is this much.
It came out it dusted. I went, what the fuck happened? That we had healthy little buds.
Mm-hmm.
And then
in a day and a half, they went completely dry.
I go, this is impossible. It's only 72 degrees in here. I go, the fan's not even directly on anything. It's in pitch black. It's in the perfect environment. Just not meant to be. Then I did another round and they all grew to this big and stopped growing. And now I'm on the 3rd round.
I don't know what's going on.
And they're just breaking through. I'm like, yo, it's been 4 days. Come on.
Yeah, but the first ones we put in there, it's been a month they've been in there.
I have no faith.
I'm telling you, I think we have to get regular soil and mix it in with that soil because I think that soil is too light and I think it's too airy. Okay. And I don't think it's holding the water enough. I think
I've been staying on top of it once a day. Yeah, not watering it, but once a day.
We're giving it water.
Yeah, the new ones popped up, but they're not. We see 2 weeks when somebody goes, "Oh, look, my new one's 2 weeks." I'm like, 2 weeks. That looks like a
don't
strawberry
know.
plant. What are you fucking
I
nuts?
really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't understand how we could have success 3 times in a row.
Massive success.
One by accident, and
We live and we learn.
I just don't know.
Remember,
So,
I had this thought that
it's just time. Everything is timing.
it was learn all the failures now and how that happened. So when you do it on the next set, there's some kind of wisdom behind what you just learned.
I think the lights are stronger than we think they are. And I think that because the light, and I could be completely wrong, but this is what I think. I think the lights are stronger than what we realize. And I think they do need more water. But I don't know why they're not.
I have
growing.
Everything is the perfect temperature,
I know.
perfect climate, perfect soil. Working with the babies, I got the checklist. They are all checked.
Know.
Everything's checked
off. I
off.
don't know.
I'm like, so it's a live and learn situation.
I
We're in a
don't know.
hologram. It's a learning simulation. So yeah, you're successful a bunch of times, and then let's see how you do when you're not successful. It's like, yeah, well, now I'm a year later, and I'm kind of like, I want to punch someone in the face.
Yeah,
because I can't get a baby started.
Yeah, we gotta think about that one.
This is what I mean. We work through. I got no time to worry about distractions and bum ass shit that comes out of the scrying box, other than the way we do it in little spurts. We have these little conversations about stuff. We get to learn about something, and then we kind of move it on. I said to one of my friends, I'm not going to mention anything, but we were talking about the shots, and I don't remember how it came up. We were all sitting here, and then I said a whole bunch of stuff to him, but the one thing that stuck out, which he was like, well, that's absolutely wrong. So I said, because I didn't really want to yell AIDS out loud. So I said HIV, and he goes, you're not getting HIV from the shot. And he said what HIV was to me. And I said, well, that sounds like you wouldn't get that from the shot. But I remembered what I heard. And then when I looked into
the YouTube video.
Okay. So then that came up third. That's after the conversation.
Yeah.
So he broke down this whole thing for me on how you never get AIDS and this or that. So I have a hard time explaining some of this stuff to people after I have to interpret it to them, especially when they're really smart. And I'm, you're not trying to start no shit. You're just trying to have a healthy conversation. And then that correction that he made on me made him also, I think, pull away from the conversation, because it's almost like saying, wow, that's a conspiracy, right? Like, there's no body on Mars and the planet. No, I didn't get to show him yet. I didn't want to start no shit.
Oh,
he said, I want to see that proof. Show me right now. So I didn't remember the name of it. And I was like, listen, I'm not trying to start shit. I'm just telling you. So I go, think of Bill Gates in Africa and then we getting thrown out, and what they were getting was AIDS or whatever. Boom, this fucking video shows up a few days later on my newsfeed with another doctor, prominent, explaining how the shots are going to give a bunch of people AIDS. So I'm like, oh, dirty needles. It's got to be dirty needles. Nope. Right. So she just breaks it down. She's like,
did you save the video?
Yeah, I actually did. It's in my saves on Facebook. I hope it's still there. She just says it's an autoimmunity thing. It destroys your whole system, and then you wind up with AIDS, like you're immune deficient completely, 100%.
Saying that
can't fight nothing. And I'm like, oh shit. She's literally breaking down the AIDS thing. This is what I wanted to say, but couldn't figure out how to explain it to a guy that I'm literally sitting with. And I'm like, this dude's way smarter than me.
Right.
Like, he's a teacher. He teaches all kinds of cool stuff.
Well,
but how do I show someone that?
Yeah, but you have the videos
now. I
now,
do, but
so
yeah, that's not really a Christmas conversation, but you know what I mean, because they took, I don't want to start shit, but also a fact is a fact. I guess we'll have to circle back to that.
Sure.
Right.
Oh, sous chef. Awesome. Helped with everything we had for Thanksgiving.
Well, where do you want to be?
Amazing.
I said to you, I'm getting good at this, right? I'm enjoying my life more.
Thank you.
Well, you don't have to thank me. I love you. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Where else would I be with these fucking animals?
It's the
There's
infinite
like
gift,
there's
though.
like 6 of them right here.
It's the
I don't
gift
even
that
wanna-
keeps on giving. Oh, you don't think so?
I think so.
You don't think it's worth it?
I think it's totally worth it. We made stuffed artichokes. They were horrible as shit, but we did it. They weren't horrible. They were we overstuffed them
And
which-
oversalted.
and over.
Don't add salt to things that already have salt in it.
Well,
Just don't.
but they looked beautiful. They looked very professional.
Gonna charge $4.50, $5 a piece for those.
To know that for a whole artichoke like that, $12
Oh,
appetizer.
How
Yeah,
about-
that
how about $12.50 and I
they
never see
were
your face
they were
again, kid?
they were amazing. They were just too stuffed. But I don't know what's
No, she went already, so it's a P.
okay. Because I was like, I
Yeah,
cleaned
yeah,
poop
yeah.
already.
The demon has been released.
Yeah,
We don't have
okay.
to worry till tomorrow
Alright.
morning.
We're good. Or sometime in the middle of the night, maybe. I don't know. I usually
like
wake
a
up at
4
like
a.m.
5.
shift.
Yeah, that's what happens. It's a changeover time.
Hmm. Everyone's down. She sneaks out,
Yeah,
drops one,
sheets. Yeah,
and then you wake up to morning coffee.
yeah. No, it's not morning coffee. It's
No,
morning.
I know.
It's
I didn't want
morning.
to say.
It's morning routine, and then when we're almost done, and I've climbed out from under the bed for the 4th time feeding Oscar, then I get to push the button
Well, I meant.
and have coffee. Yeah, now she's just gonna she's digging a hole to the center of the earth. Good girl, Roxy. I can't wait until doesn't happen anymore. Like, I'm ready. I was yelling at the kitchen cabinets while I was cooking for Thanksgiving because it just seemed like they shrunk and got smaller. And I know that they didn't, and it never bothered me before, but now it incites me. And
She literally screamed, "What are you getting smaller?" And I was like, "Yes, they are. They are getting smaller." And she goes, No, literally, we're all the same size. I'm like, "No, we're not." She's like, "Well, we're not getting bigger." I go, "No, your energy is fucking huge, though. We're squirting out of the sides of this like the Stay
I
Puft
know.
Marshmallow fatties. Like, I can't take it no more."
Oh, could we take it there? Let's take it there. Let's take it to Ghostbusters. I'm done. It's been a
Well,
while.
that wasn't the opening for Ghostbusters.
No, but let's take it there. Go ahead.
You want to change topics to the
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have
Ghostbusters?
to change it now, but I'm gonna put a pin in that.
You could wait for your dramatic stuff later when we finish the spiritual shit.
Okay. Yeah.
We just give up on it.
No, I'm no. You want to keep going? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I love it. Look, I love our life. I love our routine. You know, your mother said it today. We watched Cannoli while she got her eyebrows done, and then
It's
she
weird
was here for
seeing her with
coffee.
eyebrows.
I know it's weird. They were so dark. I was like, you just look like you're gonna attack me. Like you're angry.
She goes, they might be a little bushy at first, but
Yeah, and
I go, that looks good though. I've never seen her with it. She always got to pencil that shit in.
so she kind of jokingly was like, "Oh, so you guys aren't doing anything today?" And it's like, look, I am not going to tell you again. I said it nicely. I said, I don't have to get things done by 6 p.m. We work on a 24-hour schedule here. What needs to get done? What has to get done? What must be absolutely done right now?
If she had our cats
She doesn't
and then
understand.
just went to bed at 8 o'clock at night,
Oh my God, they would die.
that
They would just
she would
be
have
dead.
dead cats
They would be dead. Like,
and then holes in the windows.
you have no idea. It is. We left to go to Home Depot
Scratch
today,
marks everywhere.
and it was like 15 minutes just trying to get it out of the house because you can't leave certain of them in because they'll literally
They go nuts.
They go nuts. And then it's getting them out. It's like, look, you have to go. And then it's anything else that happens between here and the car, to stop us from going. But we were literally gone a half an hour. That was the quickest. That was the quickest
But these little
Home Depot trip ever.
dinkles have a routine here where they jump in and out all day and all night. So when you make that unavailable in the middle of the day and it's still freezing,
I know. You're worried. I don't want them going anywhere.
Bug out. Like, we pulled up today and they were like,
Well, you said Brian was sleeping in the house.
Brian was sleeping in the house.
Good.
Reggie ran to the front of the house,
Oh,
like,
she
yo,
was
where
like,
the fuck you
yeah,
been?
Yeah.
Sugar Pop was dancing in the
literally
yard.
30 minutes.
Then they come inside, cry, eat a nibble,
I
and
know,
then
and then
run
go back
right
out.
back out.
I know.
I'm like, listen, we're lucky they poop outside. We're lucky.
I say it all the time.
Okay. I'm like, for that reason alone, I'm happy. I'm like, oh, even though we get the demon monster in the house, you can't have 12 demon monsters.
No,
though.
and Roxy is enough. I had to go to the laundromat a couple of days ago, and I had to wash all of the cat blankets, cat area rugs, cat mats, anything cat related. So I took all their toys and I put them in a linen bag, in a linens bag, and I washed them, and it opened up in the washing machine, and when I took everything out to put it in the dryer, cat toys kept flying at me, and I'm telling you, I had about 50 cat toys that work so clean. Like this one little cat, it was like brown beige, it was pink. We forgot it was pink. It was like brown because these little motherfuckers are so dirty all the time when they come in, and they get wiped down with these cat towels. Like I don't mix those towels with our towels. They don't get mixed in with our laundry. They get everything gets kept separate. And it was so funny in the laundromat because they just kept, because I had 5 washers going, and they just kept popping out at me, and I kept putting them back in, and then what came out in the dryer, like that was, I guess, in the blankets when I put them in the dryer, and I was like, oh, you look so clean. And then
I've noticed some of them are like
I
bright,
know they look like brand new now, right?
and the cats are all playing with them again.
I know, because I sprinkled catnip and everything in the basket.
I lost my mind with the cats one night. There's a cat called I call him Chester because he looks like Chester Cheetah, but he's not orange, so he's like gray and black or whatever. But one of you said Chester the molester, and that just threw everything off and out the window. But then every time we saw him, it was he was spraying on everything.
Yeah,
so he like came into the house, he sprayed up on the top.
Yeah,
he keep sprayed the fucking water thing.
Yeah, everything had to get disinfected.
And then
it was just horrible. So he's not allowed anywhere near.
He went and sat in the bucket.
I know,
with all the toys. And then he looked at me, and I was sitting here, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I look over it, and I'm like, Chester, is that you? And he just blows a fucking,
and those were
oh my God.
Yeah. And
right
I threw those
into
out.
The toys. And then I'm like, you fucking prick. And he jumps out the window from the middle of the kitchen.
That was the last time he was ever in.
And I never let him come in again. I was like, you son of a bitch. And when I went over there, it was like oil.
I know.
That came out.
I threw I threw the basket away. We're using that tiny little stupid basket now.
All right. So with all this fun stuff that you have to do, right? We have our favorite things. Like Paula doesn't really like you don't have like your podcast that you listen to and shit, because people think when I say step away from the TV and the drama, don't listen to your favorite podcast or something. That's not what I mean.
You could listen to anything.
You could be full all day podcasting.
Oh yeah, that's what we do all day. You put them on and we listen
and working,
like moving around. Like we'll bring the iPad and
whistling while you work.
Yeah,
that's what they used to do in the old days.
I thought I wanted to make bread today, and I thought I fucked it up.
And it was the greatest.
It came out so good, and I was like, "Oh, Frank, I don't know. This dough doesn't. I think it's too loose. I don't know." And it was delicious, and I'm so happy that
I couldn't believe. I thought I was going to eat
so
a thick,
light
dense,
and airy. Yeah, it wasn't. It's like it's not bothering my stomach at all. It's like light and airy.
I didn't even get tired.
I know, me neither.
We like ate and didn't get tired for once.
I know. But yeah, so it's your reality is really what you make it, because
like, do you?
I mean, this is just silliness. It's
Paula
just
says her like.
Just trust me.
Well, no, she has her way of going about it, right? So it's like a real life way. There's no etherics to it. It's there, but she doesn't. It's not like the focus of the conversation. Whereas with me, it's the focus of the conversation because I could see it, so it just keeps it topical all the time, but it's not necessary, right? So there's no magic thing I got to go out there looking for to make it happen. You're the magic thing,
right? How do we do it?
I
say you show me any house, and I will show you how I can make it work.
I feel like in
And he
our
goes,
relationship,
no, you can't. And I said,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
house in America, pick any house in America, and I will show you how we can make it work for the animals. And he was like, oh, I said, they're just walls, Frank. We can change them. Once
yeah,
you
and now
learn
we're
how
at
to
the
do
point
it,
that we're like, we know,
yeah,
like we give a shit enough where we're not, like some people OD on it, and that's fine. Everybody's their own person, but we're OD in our own way, so we don't overwhelm ourselves. If the overwhelming sensation starts happening, we tend to back out a little bit, and just like let it ride for a while,
let it
because
ride.
it's stuff where it's not like a short term. There's short, medium, and long term manifestation goals, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So we're working at it, and when you spend too much time in with the long one, you tend, like Bitcoin, you tend to want to look at it every 5 seconds.
You can't. You just got to put it away.
If you're doing crypto, that's going to kill you unless you're trading. If you're trading, you have to. But if you're just letting it ride, you're hoodling, you check once a day, that's fine. But you're one of those dudes that's checking, like you're going to make $90,000 today. It's not going to happen, and you're going to get frustrated when it drops 20,000. We lost $20,000 in overall cryptocurrency, right? But it had gone up. Remember, we were like at such a high amount that I was like, yo, if it goes a little more, we'll break a record, a personal best for the day. And then you look now and it's like the beginning of the year, it like dropped that, but we know what that means, because it didn't go lower than the low of the last dip.
Right.
So it's already coming up again. I checked before and it was up 8% in a fucking day. Okay, long term, that's millions of dollars.
Right.
Don't even fuck around with it. Just let it go. So it's a long term goal for me, right? So it's a hoodle. So I just put it away, and I check on it when I to make sure the website works, where I'm keeping a little bit of it, that I didn't fuck nothing up. I'll make sure everything's good. We check, we smile, or we're like, ooh, look what it is. And then if it's down, Paul is like, I don't give a fuck. It's not a buying opportunity if you want to buy.
Doesn't matter. You're holding on to it. It doesn't matter. It's like stock. When you stock,
it's greater.
It is greater. But you don't react when your stocks go down. That's the mistake that everyone made in 08 and 09.
Yeah, you'd be throwing yourself out of a window.
They were pulling their money out of the, I think it's either a cat hair or I think I'm getting another sty in my eye. Fuck. It's if people didn't pull their money out of the stock market and they would have ridden it out, it would have been, took time to bring it back, but it did come back, and like this, like, you buy it with the intention of forgetting about that money and putting it away.
Well, there was this really good story about a supervisor. I don't remember the job. It was just basic supervisor work. And single dad, he put his biggest footprint into the Shiba Inu coin, and he was one of those guys that had a ton of the billions of the coin.
Yeah, from the first dip.
So the first time it came up,
yeah,
he just took the winnings and stepped away, left 25% still in,
right,
but cashed out, paid his taxes. He's like, this is for my taxes, this is for my cash, this is for my house.
Right.
Now I could just stay at home and raise my kid and send him to school.
Right.
I'll have food. I'll have this. He showed the amount.
Yeah. And how he's going to budget it
over the next 20 years, how this is the perfect amount of money. And in 20 years, all that other coin he has is going to be ridiculous.
Right.
Okay. So he's a 30-year-old guy or whatever. But then they were interviewing him, and it was like 2-3 weeks later. So the flip happened again. So they said, if you would have just held on another 2 weeks,
but he left,
you would have been a billionaire.
But he left 25% in.
And he said that. He said, no, I'm good. I'm not trying to be stingy.
Not good. I just want what I want.
I'm still going to have in the future. All this is going to be worth a lot.
This is what I have to do for me now. And people are doing that now.
The guy around the block.
Yeah. The guy around the block, every time we take our walk, we see his license plate says thanks Bitcoin.
Zervos is in the room. Shout outs.
Every time I see it, I wish I had a Post-it note so I could say good for you.
Yeah, it's
and stick it on his car, because we get it. Everyone was like, "Oh, sell your Bitcoin, sell your Bitcoin," and
run
it's
for the hills.
It's another form of currency, and people don't understand that
the future's here, man.
The bank is
going to be the dodo if
The
it
bank
doesn't
is
come
going to
on
start
with it.
charging you to keep your money there if they're not charging you already to keep your money there. And, you know, I mean, the loan situation is going to be crazy. They're not going to be giving loans to anyone. And
You have countries moving because they know their version of the dollar is dead. You'll kill the currency. Bitcoin's going to just do that by being Bitcoin, because any fake shit can't hang. Just can't. It's collapsing. It's mathematically not correct. Bitcoin's taking off. So they're like El Salvador. Oh, well, we're just going to go Bitcoin. Well,
Right.
you just saved yourself.
right.
Those little test grounds are going to prove by turning into magic in front of your eyes in the next few years. Right? It's not like they're waiting for Bitcoin to get, when it goes up and down, they just go, when it dips, we buy more
Right.
and then we stake it. That's it. Keeping it simple. The ledge is open. You can look. You can't break in. Can't rob me of it. You can't do nothing. I'm giving it to everyone. Here you go. And that little bit is competing with us here, making their country instantly like us or more. Instantly. They could their value of things there. You're like, well, if I go there, it's fucking mad cheap. Everybody's eating lobster for $1. Right? Well, imagine when you had some Bitcoin, it goes up. Everyone's got it. The government gave it to everyone. Here's a fucking card. You in the part of this country, you take this card. What about someone that doesn't even touch that card for like a year? Grabs the fucking card and it's like tripled out, quadrupled out, and they're like, I'm gonna fucking do whatever I want.
Right.
Like that was never there for them.
Right.
Never. Think about all of us who never had a way out. You know, it's like there's got to be something to grab onto, and then there's got to be people there to throw the support. This is what we're doing. We're creating that honeycomb that's unbreakable of all different creator pinpoints everywhere across the entire planet. And as one light comes up, we pull them up. One light comes up, pull them up, and you start to see the new system. You're like, oh, this fucking old system sucks, man. This is falling out of control.
People are making life-changing decisions now. This country is divided. You know, the government wants it that way. They want us divided and arguing over the minutia. But while this craziness is happening, people are forced to make changes in their lives based on all this terrible shit that's going on. You know, everything will get sorted out after. But for now, people have to make these crazy changes in their lives and choices. You know, do I continue? Do I put myself at risk? Do I stand by my principles? And, you know, it should never be a question to stand by your principles. It should never be a question. You know, I mean, the universe will provide if you allow it to. You know, it doesn't, and it probably won't come the way you expect it to come. But if you just allow it to be, it will be.
That's why they say go with the flow in the process.
Go
release,
with the flow.
Kind of float there in the frequency and let it occur.
When I had to stop working, I had to make a very conscious decision that I would be put in a situation where I would have to live on I would have to give up over half of what I had. You know, I would have to live on considerably less money, more than half. And I knew that my life was going to change in a very drastic way, but it was worth it for me. So I did it, you know, and for me, it paid off. It's still paying off now. You know, I live on a budget, but my life is full. I don't need or require the things I needed or required then. Things are very different now, and they're not different bad. They're just different. Like, all of my needs are met, you know? Yeah, there's things that everybody wants. Those things that make us happy when we get them, you know? But my life decisions I stand by them, and I have stood by them for years. We've been telling the same story. We're going to be together next year will be 7 years we're together. The story has not changed in 7 years.
Well,
you
the
know,
story, the plan hasn't changed.
the plan hasn't changed.
We're like the
you
people
know.
that stick to the plan.
Yeah, we have a plan, and the plan has not changed.
It's upgraded. There's
And,
been rearrangements in it. But
you have to make these choices, make them and stand by them. Make the best choice you can make for right now. Make the best choice you can make for your friends and your family.
it's weird. We were
Make the
down
best
the block
choice for you.
earlier, and we're like $1 million homes, and the houses were fucking ugly and terrifying.
And there's no property here.
You get a strip of
Yeah, there's no property.
$1 million right down the block from here. Right.
And we're looking at homes that are worth considerably less than that, and you're getting so much more. And for us,
acres
it works.
And a fucking house.
We don't have a 9 to 5. Our lifestyle is very different. Like I was telling his mom, I don't have to get things done by 6 p.m. I have a 24-hour turnaround time schedule. I can do things when I need to do them. I don't have children I have to put on a bus to school.
We could start in the middle of the night.
And we have, prepping for the next day, or, prepping for the week, or, like we know what we have to do come next week. Next week, these things have to get done. It doesn't matter what order they get done in, but they have to get done. Will they get done? Yeah. By the end of the week, they will all get done. But I can decide how that happens. You can decide. Yeah, you can decide how that happens. We don't feel like it on Monday. Monday's too hard. You know what? We have Tuesday. As long as by Friday it's done.
Yeah, you have to take your responsibilities as I'm finding this, that at my level where I'm at, I want to do the things I'm doing. There are certain things I don't want to do, frivolous bullshit. But I've learned during those times, like when I do dishes at night, it takes a half hour, and I get it. We do a lot of dishes. I'm not complaining, but I found that I will now I have a ritual that occurs when I do it. So now whenever there's anything really over there, I'm like, ooh, I get to do my later.
Yeah.
So there's this good thing attached to it, instead of like, I haven't gone once. Like you went to sleep. I was like, put my headphones in. I was like, oh, I want to listen to this comic book thing. I've been waiting for so long. I never get to fucking pay attention because now I have the headphones on. I got the thing, and then the dishes start. Right. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. It's like my own personal experience.
Right.
But I do that with everything. I'm learning that, like, you want this, like you want plants, you got to grow them, good and bad. You got to deal with the insects and the non-insects, the dirt and the no dirt, and the sand and the rain and you got to take it all in. You got to understand it top to bottom, or else you'll never understand it. How would you understand it? Would you just read it, but you never experienced it? Isn't that what life is? The experience. I'm like, you got a point. And even outside the game, be like walking by the Matrix, like, oh, what's this? Oh, you don't know what that is? It's the Matrix. Well, what is it? It's like, well, you go in there, and then there's like this whole thing that you live out. And you go, that sounds kind of cool. And you could either choose to do it or not, even from the outside coming in, as it just trickles right down to us. Now it's not trickling.
I believe it.
Now it's like and it's going to go to a steady stream. And when that hits, that's when the shit hits the fan. Like everything just breaks open, because I have this weird feeling. A weird feeling. It's not a weird feeling. Literally been told it. The sun is being covered.
Yeah, I think so.
And then the energies from things like the lunar eclipse, they were chemtrailing the night of the eclipse.
I know. We saw it through the clouds.
I was
remember?
Like, what the fuck?
I think that's why our plants didn't grow right, because the sun didn't hit the yard the way it usually hits the yard.
Okay, that was my next one.
Because I blame the trees. The trees in the front. The tree in the front got bigger. It did. That I admit, because it covers the telephone wires. We know it didn't do that before. And then we cut as many branches as we could. We couldn't get the height, but we could get the width. So remember you and I cut about 3 or 4 branches down. But I have pictures of us in the yard where the sun used to hit. in the afternoon.
No, it's different because we
know.
put the thing that you walk by the light at night and it just activates.
Yeah, the
but it's
motion
solar,
yeah.
the motion detector.
Mhm.
It's not charging.
I know that.
And I'm
I
like,
know that.
what
We
the
had
fuck?
to turn you had to turn the planter.
No, but the sun is literally
Not
not
hitting. I
hitting
know.
our yard
I know.
for more than like 2 hours.
I know, and I think
what the fuck is that?
I think that
Is our rotation off now?
look,
it never did that.
our friends live in the city, and they're growing a little baby plant in the city, and they got hit with spider mites in a New York City apartment, and we got hit with spider mites, and I know Robert Hawley in Massachusetts got hit with spider mites, and
that
I know
means everybody else
a lot of people in Canada I know got hit with spider mites. I know everyone across this country has gotten hit with spider mites, and I wonder if that does have to do with them shielding the sun in some way. Like I'm wondering,
or
like, what is this?
changing the season?
Yeah,
making too wet.
It was a very wet summer. It was
Not
a very
enough
wet
sun.
fall. You know, like the leaves are just turning now.
The environment shifts just like
yeah, everything is different.
you have sharks
you know.
now right here.
Yeah, off the Jersey Shore.
Like
you know.
big time. And then they're like, well, how did that happen? It's like, well, the Florida waters, that whole shift thing kind of changed, and it like brought that up here. So that North Carolina kind of fucking beach you go out there, you get attacked by sharks. Same thing now over here. So that water that travels that distance is now warming up in our area, sending these sharks directly in. They're just moving right up the whole piece. So there is something occurring, something shifting and moving, creating these currents. That's the word I'm looking for. So I've been off on my words all day today.
I'm too. I'm having a hard time.
Well, you're really high now too.
Yeah, I am. But my eye is starting to hurt, I think.
Do you want Visine?
Does it look small?
It looks red.
It looks red, right? I think.
Well, you've been fucking with it.
I know. It's either a cat hair or something's happening.
Let's go take a look.
No, I don't want to get up because he's sleeping.
Oh, shit. He's right here. You might have rubbed one of his hairs into your eye.
Cat food or 90 million other things.
They were building in, I was looking at Wildwood, New Jersey. I grew up and spent a lot of time there, and it's always underwater. So they're building the new boardwalk, and I was looking at it the other day, and I'm like, y'all shifting deck chairs on the Titanic again. That whole area is going to be underwater in like 10 years. Like, it's going to be under fucking water. The whole area. When those streets flood, you know how big the beaches are there. They're gigantic.
No, I know. I did the Jersey Shore every summer for years.
When they flood, it goes over.
I was there
the boardwalk.
The year before I met you. We had gone to dinner and we had to come back early because my car was.
It goes 10 blocks out.
Water, yeah.
And that whole area gets soaked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's why they build everything up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why you I keep thinking about like how the doozers just keep fixing and the Fraggles just keep breaking and eating.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point do you realize, let's just go over here?
Well, that's why I think it's too congested here for us. There's too much energy here. We're fighting so much energy that has nothing to do with us. You know, we're in an urban area. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of
there's a lot of people that didn't upgrade or aren't trying to.
There's just a lot of people. It's a very congested area. Like even on the highway, when we get, it takes 20 minutes of being out of the Bronx and into Westchester. 20 minutes into Westchester before we even feel normal.
The difference.
Feel the difference. That feeling of congestion releases, you know, like I said to Frank, I'm like, I'm ready for our small town and I'm ready for, you know, this change. You know, I don't want to be in this environment anymore. Like it's just not suiting me in any way. You know, it's serving no purpose now. Like I feel like I took and I learned and I gained and I received as much as I could possibly receive, and there's nothing else here for me now. Like there's nothing more that I can take from this area now. It's time for me to go.
Well, this is a perfect scenario of leaving something better than when you arrived.
Oh,
and
definitely.
in a better shape.
I
and
everywhere I
condition.
go, I leave it better than when I came. Everywhere
That's
I go.
at least really good.
Mhm.
So the footprint is excellent. When
Right.
people, when you guys are like, when people that come here that know us, they're like, man, I don't want to leave. This is great. I love it. And I'm like, hey, we built this. So you have to want that, and you have that. Anyone can have it, but you have to have that system where you just, you allow each other to grow into the experience. You conquer your stuff, your fears, and you make your adjustments, and you stick to your plans, and you have a lot of love, and it's exciting and it's frustrating, but at the same time, you wouldn't change it for the world. There's all this wrapped into it. If you want to get involved with it on a higher level, it unlocks you, period. You're already ascending. The access to the game is your awareness to it. Oh yeah, man, we're ascending up. He's ascending. Regardless of what level you think someone's on, everyone's got to go. But
Right.
remember, we always said it.
You go at your own time.
You go at your own time. Thank you. That's it. So at your own time, you'll be there. So we're just kind of coming up, like in all different layers and all different beings and all different people, just bouncing in and out, in and out, in and out. It's fucking crazy. And we did it. That's the other thing. Excuse me. You stand strong. You ground yourself. You say no. You learn how to do it. You move yourself into a better position. You clear your karma. Excuse me a second.
Okay.
I have that dry spot in my nose right at the dip.
Do you want me to put the humidifier on? Sorry, I don't. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It always feels like someone hooks me in the back of my throat when that happens. It's like in a weird spot. It's like having a dry spot that you can't get to. Sorry about that. Anyway, so enjoying yourself, taking the process forward, and having self-awareness of it allows you access to like things like getting rid of your karma, upgrading your skin suit. With your awareness of it, it moves. You guys, you were a year behind, maybe a year and a half when I started the first show, and we're all caught up. So in that amount of time, 7 years for me, hold on, let me finish. 7 years for me, right? Or more, 2013. Like 8-9 years, then meeting you, then a year of TFR asking us, come on, tell everyone what the fuck is going on with you guys. To right now, those times it was like the 7 year, the year, and it got smaller and smaller and smaller, and now we're at the now moment in the story. It's just a crazy thought.
I see what you're saying.
But someone
took 7 years to close the gap.
Yeah, thank you. I've been having such a problem with my
No. I was just
vocabulary. But someone like Joe, right, who came in a little bit later to the game, who's is still in the same process, going through the same thing, has to clear it out in that shorter time span,
right?
Because the barrier wall that we're gonna hit,
right,
which is a frequency wall. If you can't take baggage in it,
you're either on this side or you're on the other side.
That's
because it happened to us when Frank had that mushroom experience, and they were trying to explain to him, you're no longer in the same dimension you were in, basically, is what they were trying to say to you. You have to acknowledge that, because when he had told me, I acknowledged it as a checkpoint. Like, certain physical things needed to happen in order for that frequency to change. And when that frequency changes, things change, physical things change. Like we notice there's a cat that we've been feeding for years. He doesn't come anymore. I don't know if he's gone. I don't know if he's gone from, I don't think he's gone from this earth. I just think he doesn't come here anymore.
We're sharing a physical space, but those that can't hang in that vibration, and that cat lives in super fear.
Physically cannot. Like I have a you know, I have a neighbor that likes to give a hard time every now and then, you know, and she starts shit unnecessarily, and I just keep letting it go and letting it go, you know. And then there was a time last week when she needed me, and I was completely there. I did everything she needed, you know, and I could have very easily and would not have been wrong if I said no. And I just wouldn't do that, you know, even if I'm in the right for doing that. If I can help you, I'll help you. Just don't take advantage of me, and don't think I forgot what you did, you know, like, you know, people need people now. It's a different time, you know, like people are not as, we may not see each other as often as we would like, and we're not physically closer, but you know, everybody needs a little help every now and then. And, you know, people are very quick to forget that. You know, there's going to be a time when you need me, you know, so don't,
or someone.
And
so, your kindness is going to be repaid to you. And I'm saying,
you know, or if you try this with someone else, it's not going to fly the way it did with me. You know, I'm being gracious. You know, you should notice that, you know.
No, different layers.
Yeah, things like that. You know, like if you're neighbors, be neighborly. You know, if you're friends, be friends. And if you can't be that, then be honest about that. You know, Frank will be very honest with me, and he's like, Paula, I just don't see what you're seeing. You know, let's go over it again, or find a different way to explain it to me, you know. And I respect if he's not on the same page. And if he's not on the same page, then we don't talk about it. We don't go through it, because it's a waste for him and it's a waste for me. You know, we come back to it. Like, let's forget about that. Let's come back to this, you know, because we're not seeing eye to eye at that moment, you know. And then Frank had this, you know, I think seeing himself in the near future and seeing himself happy, you know, he was able to change the way he was looking at things. And once he changed the way he was looking at things, he started seeing different things, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? You started seeing.
Unlocks. This is what happens. It unlocks something. So I'm like, and then I start waking up. Okay.
Right.
What's happening? Well,
right.
I'm not going to question it. You don't question the fucking magic. You go with it.
Right.
I've lived a life of questioning it every 10 fucking seconds.
Right.
Why? Who? This motherfucker? No way. No, wow. Everything's bullshit. Fuck this. Fuck that. Not with what I've been through. You have to get off that train at some point and go, okay, that does not work. Even a little bit. I'll believe it when I see it. Well, I guess I'll see you on the other side, son.
You can't say you believe it when you see it, because a lot of it you have to believe before it ever happens, because just your belief in it happening is enough to make it happen. But people don't think it could be that easy. You know, like all of the work that we did, 50% of it was spiritual. And Frank just figured that out now. Like he just.
Well, I was saying stuff like technically this place is sacred.
But you physically just allowed your brain to understand that 50% of what we did is spiritual.
Also, whatever it took, showing me opened a new thing I wasn't aware of. You already think you're you, and everyone is guilty of this. I'm me. Get the fuck out of here. I gotta love more. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. You fucking go do that. Oh, I am doing that.
Right.
And I'm not telling you what you should do.
Right.
I'm just giving. That's why I'm just a living example. If you choose to be part of the example, if you don't like me, just turn me off, man. I don't give a fuck. Right? I'm busy living the position because I've lived the other position. It didn't make me feel good.
Right. And I've been on the other side too. Like we were talking about, our friendship, everything else aside, just the friendship that the two of us share. The friendship is worth everything, and you wouldn't do anything to jeopardize the friendship because a friendship is the core.
Yeah. Well, everyone's searching for something instead of what they have right in front of them. And, to a degree, that's a little bit of a cop-out because I notice a lot of people are sitting in front of people they don't want to be with. So just don't look. You got to, at some point, take a responsible position in your life and then make it where there's happiness. That's it. Like, you find the happiness throughout. Now, you got responsibilities because you went and did whatever, or people are unhappy. Things shift and things change. Things happen constantly. Right? And it was important for the moment. Like my ex under ayahuasca, when I was like, fuck that bitch, right? They were like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean, no? They're like, nope. That's the hard teacher. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? They're like, the hard teacher, the one that could show you the lesson that you need to learn, or you're fucked. You're losing right now. And now you're winning. See? They're losing, winning. And I'm like, oh, it's like that. Oh, yeah, it's like that. But you're an emotional mess right now. But look. And I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't really bother me that much anymore. Yeah, you gonna come back over here, or you're gonna keep talking? You're gonna keep crying? You want to cry for a few more minutes? Okay, come on, let's cry. We'll hug it out. Come on. Mother ayahuasca would be like, come on, Frank, it's okay. Right on her bosom, hold me like a baby. Are you ready to see? Oh, okay, not yet. Okay, you ready? Here we go. I'm like, right. I think I'm ready. And then I've never looked back. I just confer. Now it's like we're all people. When I call to her, or she calls to me, like, because that happens often, I'll say greetings, and then boom, the shit goes down or whatever. Immediately, I'm there. I'm like activated in the moment with mother. That's the only important thing. And who represents that? Well, in my household, that would be you. Then we have a literal cat named Mama. I have my mother. I'm fucking busy, right? It's the rise of the sacred feminine. Everyone, at one point, I was like 2 weeks ago, I was like, every fucking woman around me has been giving me fucking shit. Don't say another fucking word. I pulled this whole I was just sitting here doing that. So I wouldn't look at her and do that, right? It was like everyone was doing it to me that was female. It was just like a day in a moment where it clipped, and I realized if you backed it up 3 days,
even the cats, the two cats were giving him shit.
I was being hammered. I was like, I've had it. That we got enough fucking on our plate. So for everyone thinks that everyone's fucking off and everything. No, everyone's there assisting everyone else doing the things that they do. I have to be like this so I can be here in the moment when you can be like that, and then reverse. So you can be here while I'm like, It has to be that way because there has to be for you and me and the outlets.
Oh, there has to be. Last week, there was a 3-day period when I slept like 12 hours, 16 hours, and 12 hours. And Frank was like, I thought you were dead. And I just needed to rest it out. And I was gone. The cats were like, where did she go? Like they were looking for me everywhere. I was sleeping for like 16 hours.
Well, look, everyone has their thing. Like I say to other people, like my brother, I don't even know how you stay awake for the amount of hours you stay awake. Now, I'm the rock star, but Kevin makes fun of me, KG, because I have to take a nap pretty much every day. So, right? So then it's just an hour and then sometimes more. But I was laughing that I can't do what other people do. Like I physically can't do that, but I'm not meant to because I'm ascending. I've already done that shit. Why the fuck would I have to do that? So the guy that's working the 12-hour shift, yeah, he's ascending too, but his unlock hasn't reached where I'm at.
Right.
So
I'm doing a different kind of work here.
yeah, exactly. So he's responsible and go to work, but your awareness that we're ascending is important and will help you through your moment. And a guy that's working and just doing that and just has a little bit of awareness of it, or a guy that's working with that's just happy or content or loves himself that has no fucking clue, those guys are doing, it's all right, Wolfie. Those guys are doing really well, probably better than me in some directions. They're bad. I work sanitation. I know you, brother. He's a fucking pain in the ass. Blah, 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 blah. And then I go, Rob, you know that guy? He goes, oh, that happy dick? That guy's just smiling all day. Well, that guy's ascending and knows it and is loving his life, or doesn't know it and just loves his fucking life. I'm never quitting this job. What are you kidding me? I've been here 35 years. Do you know how much money I make to come here and watch you pencil necks push shit around? I just drive the truck. Hey. And they're standing right next to each other all day. Two completely different things. Whereas I'm here doing this, and then they view us like, oh, look what they're doing. But I have to be here because this is where I'm at. And then you're with me, but we're the only two that could really deal with each other on that level.
Oh yeah,
no one else understands it.
Nope.
But then they
no
go,
one else gets
we want
it.
what you and Paula have. I'm like, then you got to do what. All right, not what me and Paula do. You got to live a life that way. Like I don't lock her into any kind of weird, like you can't and you won't and fuck this. And if you don't respect me, I don't do any of that. It sounds like I might, but I don't. It's called letting someone live. Just live. Let's do this. We're doing it together. It's not like she's out fucking spending credit cards of money where I got to sit her down and go, honey, you know, you're fucking broke. It's not like that. What do you want, Frank? You want the new action figure? Oh, you fucking know I do, man. Bang. Right? You want that shit? Go ahead. Look, I got you a little something too for the set so you could have the fucking dragons. What? Can I get another one? Yes. Hey, everyone's letting everyone live. You know what he's saying? Shit. You want to plant stuff? Let's go. Let's go plant right now. We're going to Home Depot. Let's go right now. Because it's important. We're too busy worrying about, not worrying about nothing.
Oh, Frank built a stationary cover so we could feed the cats outside. It's like a table with two sides, and it's open on two sides.
Terribly in one direction.
It is worked out lovely because we put the
fat raccoon was in it last night.
Yeah, and it keeps them dry from the rain, and then we're just going to tarp it when it starts to snow.
Dry.
Yeah, and it keeps the food dry,
and it gives them a spot to eat to get, come out.
It's awesome.
It's funny how and here's another thing about a little thing about Paula and I that you might not know. So I'm a creator. I do all kinds of man stuff, right? And she's Paula and she does all kinds of Paula stuff, right? Not necessarily true. So I was having the hardest time putting this fucking thing together. It's a box with the side, and then I came inside. I'm like, Paula, could you come outside for a minute? Right? I literally, you know how they say men will just drive around and not ask for directions? Okay, I'll give myself 10 minutes that way. I'll like hit a smoke. If I got to put that down and relight it again,
right,
I got to go talk to someone.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm getting lost right now. I don't know. And then you came outside. You were like, oh, look, okay, whatever. Blip, blip, blip this. And I go, that's what I couldn't see. And then she just went inside and I kept creating. But we have this, like, I go to her.
I was making cookies for Aiden's multicultural day.
I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help with the cookies, but I'm doing for the cats. Like, it just happens to go. The other day, I felt like I was losing my mind. The energies were so intense. This was like, what was it, a week ago? And I was losing my shit. And then something in my head, I couldn't stop moving around the house, was like, yo, you better fucking, you got the wood right there. Why don't you just do it?
Go build something.
It'll take you 10 minutes. And I go, nothing takes me 10 minutes, right? Nothing. And they were like, come on, do it. And then it worked out. It was like 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
But it was finished. And I was like, oh.
And it still holds up. It's good. And we got another tread
And
today
I
for the
felt
cats.
better.
Yep.
I needed to feel better. I kept saying, I need to do something like,
Mhm.
and you were like, behind door number 1. It was
Yeah.
very interesting the way you
Yep.
played that off because you were in the middle of it too.
I know. I had to make cookies for the my nephew had a multicultural day. They can't call it a Thanksgiving party, I guess, at school anymore. And he requested
me holding
the
the feet.
lemon cookies, and so did Alexei, his Russian friend's father.
Yeah,
for
so we have to.
multicultural day. So I had to
Maybe
make
that's where we'll get
Yeah.
Ivan.
Vlad and Ivan from Alexei's dad. I could ask if he's got any
You know any
hairless
hairless
cats.
Russian cats? Kittens?
I'm sure if you think a little bit on it, one will just appear.
All I want to tell you is Bitcoin. That and give me whatever in your wallet. I'm like, I fucking love this cat.
We got to
Get him a
start looking
sweater.
for tracksuits, extra small.
Get him in the Adidas tracksuit right now. Get him a little chain with a little gold chain. Right? Teach him how to say Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin. That's all you should worry about is Bitcoin. We'll worry about everything else. Fuck off, yes? Okay, bye.
But you built that whole table and it
Yes.
still works.
And you made those cookies and they rocked. So
everyone
this
loved
is
my
the point.
cookies.
We can only go by example. So I don't know what you did out there. So this brings me into my next thing. It's really all the rest that I got. So I was trying to do these little shorts, little 1-minute videos with Kevin, right? Not with, like, I have to do my own 1-minute thing for Sons of the Suns. And I was making a joke because when I spent it like an hour and a half doing it, I got all these versions and I fuck all of them up right at the end only. So I was like, you know what? I'll just chop this shit up and I'll fucking put on a good ending or whatever. Boom, never. I was like, nope, this is stupid. I can't do it. Like, so I tell Kevin, I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. I'm like afraid to do this. And he goes, oh, Mr. Long Form Conversations, afraid of 1 minute? 1 fucking minute.
1 minute.
Wait, you don't
1
even know
minute.
where this goes. So Kevin and I have this great idea. I'm not even going to share it, but it was so crazy, funny, and it's going to work out beautifully.
Oh, I think it's going to be
It's
funniest
the greatest thing
in the
ever.
world.
So then I'm sitting here getting high with Paula, and then I'm just laughing about it because I keep taking it further down the line.
It takes on a whole life.
It's like
of
almost
its own.
comic. It is comedy mixed with something else. So you guys you'd be like, holy, I can't even believe you're doing that. So I just hit the record button on my phone and I'm like, I gotta tell Kevin the story right now. Oh my God, this is funny because I can't lose it and wait. So I send him this voice thing that was fucking me doing like a Saturday Night Live skit across. So he writes back, yo, this is mad funny. That was exactly 1 minute. And then dead silence. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then, so I noticed I was coming out of my comfort zone, but that was me in my comfort zone. I couldn't explain it. We were free balling that, but that's my
that
comfort
whole day
space.
was funny though.
So, okay. So I was like, how do I mix that over with the music? And I was having a problem. So then I'm like, I'll just dip into the new music, thinking I'm going to escape one thing into the next. And the next 4 tracks are completely different than any of the music you've heard from us so far. And they're 100% different. And I was like, oh, there'll be no safety net for you, bitch. That's all I heard in my head yelling at me. It was like Ice-T and Ice Cube were both there like, you little motherfucker. You thought you were going to get away that easy, huh, bitch? Go back in there right now. Don't come back out until it's written. Like, don't even look at your old shit. Don't give me that fucking paper. I had to throw the book on the side. I have all these new fat raps. They don't fit with nothing we're doing. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? They were like, Brent. They were like, Frank, my man, you're going to sit down right now and write this. So I got so upset with myself because I couldn't find comfort in anything. And then all the women were yelling at me and everything.
Oh,
yeah, I sat down and started shitting out fucking raps. Like, you have no fucking clue. And then I realized out of my comfort zone is where I'm finding all of my my success. And then you overcome it. And now I'm in this weird swing where I'm like, 3 of the songs are a little faster in beats per minute.
Yeah.
And now this one, what I'm doing is mad slow. So it has a different
Mm-hmm.
thing in it completely. And I'm like bragging of how High Noon, our first track, was 82 BPMs, and it's like rhyming over slow butter melting, and you have to be a real MC to do it. So I'm coming off these fast tracks, and I'm like, I got all this stuff. And that beat came on, and I went, wow, there's a lot of space in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, what are you afraid of it, bitch? Get in that water. So I wrote for everything, and now I'm on that speed. Apparently, I went to the quicker ones first and worked my way backwards somehow. So that's always fun. So here's my take on the whole thing. Out of your comfort zone, you're going to find some success. And I did not understand it at this level. But if you're going to change something, the whole thing's going to change. Why else would you change something? Don't you want to understand how the change is made and why? I mean, you want to fucking bother the magic on how you fucking magic. Why don't you bother with your own details? Because you are the magic. Then when you realize that it's you're not asking out there.
No, you're asking in here.
In here.
Right.
It's coming right in.
Right.
And that's it. It's a shift of a perception. Right? You were seeing it this way the whole time, and now you're seeing it like this from over here, and you're like, oh, that's me, homie. Okay, let me. And you can't make changes like that sometimes.
No, nothing happens with a snap of a finger. It's a change in your head. Change the way you're thinking about something. Frank is finally seeing what I've been trying to get him to see, and he's seeing it on his own. He saw himself happy. You know, I said to him, sleeping is not going to be an issue when we move because we're going to have more space. Regardless of wherever we move, it's going to be bigger.
Listen, no matter what you say to the crowd and to everybody else, I cannot tell you what it's like to look at yourself and you look back at you and you're like wondering how far apart are we? And he's like, listen to me. What the fuck is wrong with you? Look at me. And he snaps you into this fucking place is great. Yo, I say that about our relationship, our cats, my music. Like, see how it's just, this was like another, and it was us. So I was like, oh, this is awesome.
It's always us. It's always going to be
us. It
us.
was so grand, but yet not overwhelming and annoying. There was nothing like that. It felt everywhere here so good. Like, I can't equate that to anything but being a 7-year-old. I might even go younger, but then you start getting dumber as you get younger. You're just like, But when there's a point where your imagination is rocking before, like, you're spoiled by like watching something crazy or seeing some fucked up shit or being taught something crazy, there's this point where you're like, bro, this is a lightsaber. Let's die. And you chase each other. And in your mind, you're seeing the lightsaber. It's amazing. And when you look back, you're like 50 years old and you look back at that person, you're like, yo, remember that time we played with the lightsabers? And you're like, that was a toilet roll and a lighter. You realize that. And it's like, yeah, but wasn't that the best day of the entire fucking summer?
We put Christmas lights up in the bathroom.
Oh my
God. How beautiful is it? Okay, the bathroom has a warm glow to it that it never had before. We just
take showers with the lights out.
I think we're gonna leave them up all year round now, like until we move. Because
I said this is fucking awesome.
It's awesome. And,
I didn't think it was gonna be like that.
A string of Christmas lights.
I was like, she's gonna make me put up lights. Okay, you know what? Let's see where this goes. I was so in. I went from lights because I thought they were gonna get hot and melt on the wood or something weird. None of that happened. I just kept hooking and looping and going, get me the things. Like, I'm never that interested. I am totally into it.
We got the right tools for the job.
Look, even homie's been sitting with me.
I know.
Every day, by the way, his belly is making noises. It's going bloop, bloop, bloop.
He might be hungry.
You hungry, Foof? But yeah, so these are just what I'm going through. Like, I'm opening my everything in front of everyone. I don't know how to explain it. I could
You're
just say
being
what
vulnerable in front of people.
Yeah,
You're telling
but it
them
doesn't.
where
That
it's
shit
at.
doesn't bother me.
No, why should it? Why should it?
I'm massively powerful. This is why it doesn't bother me.
You know that.
Oh,
You talk
man.
to Space Jesus in the yard.
I was screaming about this today. I was like, yo, the craziest thing, man. It's Jesus, right? It's like, listen, I would want to say it's Jesus too, but no, it's fucking Space Jesus. He was with those Galactic Federation dudes, bro. He came out of a fucking spaceship. That's not a rocket, as he would say. He's like, it's a starship. So I'm like, so it's Starship Jesus, bro. You ain't getting away with the Jesus or the Jesus or whatever the fuck. Like, no, because it's not holy. He's awesome. He's just an awesome being, but he's not more than you. He is you. I don't like. Oh, one of the first things I said to him was, dude, other than the white, we always talk about that part. Oh, you wear white that doesn't stain. I said to him, I was looking at his face. He was just a dude. He was just a guy. And I go, I would fucking totally smoke weed with you. He goes, I totally smoke weed with you too. I go, you smoke weed? He goes, yeah, I've smoked weed. You smoke all the time. I'm like, this guy's fucking awesome. Like, it's that level of frequency. And I'm like, yo, I did that here in our yard.
I know.
Holding our cat.
I know.
Who smelled like fucking ass butter.
I know. He was
all the time because he just rolled around in fucking dirt all day. But he was the best. And I would just hold him and cry. I'd be like, buddy, I love you, you little best friend, motherfucker.
He will be in our hearts forever.
And then Space Jesus. And he said, that's what did it. That's why I tell you all the time, Buddy was my best friend. This cat stayed like this while the whole Jesus interaction thing, I fucking shook his hand and everything.
He was wearing the Birkenstocks and everything.
Oh my God. I go, but it was covering his feet, the robe. And I commented, that's basic, but it looks great. Like, it looks great. I was checking him out because my robe don't look like that on me. I look like I got a fat belly in it and I walk around like I'm fucking Al Bundy sometimes, but he's rocking this thing. Like, I go, what is this? Does this stain like I did when we were with in Pennsylvania? The guide that showed up when I saw Nibiru, and he's like, you got to go up there. And I grabbed his arm. He was wearing the exact same fucking robe. And then I was holding on to it, and he goes, get off of me, let go. And I went, no. And then, but what I was doing this. Because I was like, what is this white that doesn't stain? Yeah. I want one of these. You guys don't look fat. How come I got a belly when I put my fucking robe on? What makes this robe flow like that? And why your feet out like that? And you coming off a spaceship? Where's your space boots? And how come they're wearing fucking uniforms? This is another thing. They look like Ashtar and those guys, that collective of the Galactic Fed, they're wearing blue, and he was wearing silver, and they were wearing darker blue or shades of either black or dark, like navy, against their outfits, which made them look just like Star Trek. And I'm like, you guys fucking doing some cosplay today or something? Because he's in a fucking robe and you guys looked like you beamed down, but he's with you. And they were like, yeah. What's that all about? Why is he glowing a little bit and you guys are normal? Why is he fucking blue? Like, when I'm first breaking through, that's me. Button pusher. But I don't do that no more. Now I'm just like open, and it just opens, right? Or I don't even say it and it goes. Aya is very specific about the two of us. She said, she showed me, it looked like collector's cards of every mother deity ever. And then said, okay, all of them are really in me. And then and so they collected into her. And then she goes, Paula is me. And all of that. That's right there. And I was like, Well, that's pretty big. What about Zeus? She goes, you want to see Zeus? Come on, he's right there. It was like a little dot, and we were like these fucking huge things. And I'm like, she goes, you could fit every Zeus ever, and then everything ever inside of Paula. Yeah, that didn't sound right. But like in your galactic body.
In my galactic body.
I was looking right at it. I was like, this is crazy. And they were like, and that's her in physical form. So you don't have to look for like the Mother Mary or the goddess Isis or Saraswati or Lakshmi or Mother Ayahuasca or Mother Earth. You just not you just you. It's they showed like I have to be concerned with you because it's me and you.
Of course.
But she showed me the tree and there was many others doing the exact same fucking thing. And it meant the exact same thing for you.
Right.
Because you're fucking source. You're the all. I was making a joke when I was in the bathroom peeing before. To say I'm not connected is technically wrong. I'm nothing like any of these other things or whatever, but it's me. And then I'm like, oh, I'm peeing. And I'm like, my fucking mind's blown. Because technically we have no relation. Zero relation. But I'm source. So welcome to the family. We've been family the whole time. This place makes no fucking sense.
Doesn't.
But that's okay.
Doesn't.
No, because we're breaking through it. Because for when you start, I guess, hitting this frequency, there's no time for all the other shit, frivolous stuff. Kevin, if you're still listening, I can't stop thinking about fucking music. Every time I hear music during my meditations, my mind, I hear something related or hasn't shown up yet or is about to pop off, and it only has to do with what we're doing. I was telling Paula earlier today, again, there is no looking outside of the box anymore. I think I was telling you about this.
Yeah,
like I have a song I'm going to present to him
there.
And whatever, but it was a rock song. But it's like, well, what are we doing? It's like we're doing rock rap music. So maybe it was never meant to be presented to anyone but the position I'm in,
right?
Which is me and Kevin,
right?
So there is no, well, I want to work with a character. I really don't. I want to work with Kevin.
No, and
I don't give a fuck about nobody else.
Yep.
Right? So why go look for someone to say, oh, could you play guitar or do that? No, go do it.
Right.
You do it. He fucking makes awesome music. Present the idea and lay it down. What's wrong with you?
Look, what
do you think?
I bought a Christmas wreath on Amazon.
Oh my God.
I almost cried when it came. It was the shittiest looking wreath I ever saw. It was supposed to be a snowman wreath. And
it was just a figure eight.
I almost cried. And then Frank was like, just throw that shit out. And I was like, no. And I went and
you spent a couple hours doing it.
Spent a couple of hours on it with a hot glue gun, twine, and
with purpose,
and determination,
glorious purpose.
And I made this. I took everything off of it that they had that didn't fall off in the
just
packaging,
the pattern.
And I made a beautiful little wreath out of it. And Frank was so impressed, and I was like, Frank, it broke my heart. Lights. I mean, I almost cried when I saw it.
It was such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I go, "Oh, you bought the China version." Like I thought,
and I was like,
"We got you, American."
I'm not sending it back. And then I was like, "No, I'm going to make this better."
You fucking hooked that thing up.
I know it looks pretty now, but you know what? This is what you do. You give me something, and I can transmute that shit into something beautiful. You know, I mean,
it's funny. They said to me right before I made the thing outside.
Yeah.
You're fucking staring at the wood. You have everything.
Right.
I was like,
you had everything.
There's obviously, there's obviously not enough. And they were like, oh no, you got that big thing sticking up against the wall. What's that? This is just going to leave it there?
Right.
Oh, you're building this other stuff. No, you're helping the cats.
Right.
And I went, let me think. And I just picked it up, started cutting.
Yep.
I made the marks in 30 seconds. And I go, oh, this is Maddie. I'll get and it just kept going. Mm-hmm. The only time I stopped was to talk to you that once. I was like, please, I need you to.
Mm-hmm.
Those check-in moments are like, a lot of guys feel too much for that. Like, I got away from my friend or someone else to show me or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, man, go inside, ask your fucking girl, see what she knows. And if she don't know nothing, go ask your mother Maybe she knows. And if she's not there, work up the line. You don't have to wait on a horse and a hang shoe for people. My brother always goes through stuff with the comic book stuff, and we did this back when we were in Heist Click. Waiting for this guy like he's gonna make you. Meanwhile, I'm the rock
just
star.
did it yourself if you tried.
And then I get into Def Jam, and now Def Jam they're on Ghislaine Maxwell's list is Def Jam. So I told you what was going on up in there, right? I get all the way there and fucking explode while I'm in there. And I'm like, I told the lady, this lady was threatening me with sex. She was just like, you're going to do all this stuff. And I'm like, I ain't doing nothing. I'm the fucking rock star. Me. What do? You sit behind a fucking desk. You have no talent whatsoever. My husband is Jay-Z's bodyguard. Yeah, get him in here, bro. Get him in here. Let's go right now. What do you want to do? I don't give a fuck who's bodyguarding who. Right? She was like, oh, you're just not going to get the program. I'm like, what program? Here's the program. I'm the rock star. Right? Like, I don't want to take it anywhere. I used to say these fucking weird things. Like, you suck my dick, I don't suck yours, right? Like, just weird shit, and it would shut people up. But it's
harassment no matter what.
Yeah, but I snapped there, like, who are these people? Your job isn't necessary. I'm an adult in there. I'm a fucking inspector. I'm like walking around going, your job, what does this guy do? He's got a fucking feather in his fucking, what do you do? Do you press buttons? Well, I answer the phones. Go sit by the fucking phone. Go answer the fucking phone. Go do your job. What are you out here for talking on? You're fucking stupid. I would bug out going, this is unnecessary, but this is why no artist is making money.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, you're gone. After they invited me in when we had a couple of the music worked. And then they were like, okay, now we want you to do this. And then we were invited to the party. And everyone's first failed. All 5 of us. We failed to meet their expectation of what they thought would happen.
Right.
Petro was the funniest one, the 15-year-old who just turned 16. He rolls and he's bigger than everyone. He walks up and goes, yo, I just got to tell you guys this. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, Joe. But yo, they all said it, and I believe this anyway. I'm the best rapper here. And then we just looked at him. We were like, shut the fuck up and sit down, bro. Who told you that? And they was like, oh, they fucking telling me all day. You're the fucking best. Go in there, fucking blah, blah. I go, yeah, right. So we talked around the table to each other about what they did to us. And then he got so mad. He was like, fuck these motherfuckers, right? Like, we're getting up and out of here right now. We're taking the music with us. And then it was almost like we predicted what we were going to do.
Right.
They threatened my brother, and then we all rushed the guy that was acting tough, locked him in the studio with us, and they all freaked out. We're like, oh my God, they're going to jump the 7-foot guy that's 400 pounds of solid muscle that could actually kill us, except he's afraid because he doesn't have a weapon with him. Right. But we were in there with these. You see how heavy this is, right? Mm-hmm. He was like, you white boys don't fuck around. I go, we're not trying to fight. Look, does Metallica come to work every day and have to go through this? And they're like, well, you're not Metallica. I go, you never given anyone a chance. Did you ask Hetfield if he had a fucking twiddle 20 dicks before he came in? Or did he have to drink the stuff over there? Did he have to go to one of these fucking events? Did he have to be threatened and wear different clothes he didn't want to and be talked down to by dudes? What do you do again? Why do we need you here? Whose friend are you that you're talking for Def Jam? Like, oh my God. I used to be like, what the fuck? Because I would see through. I worked in an office with the USDA, so I'd know how you were supposed to work. And I worked in the field all day. So I'd go, this is so not necessary. This is why you're making 10 to 15 cents if you're lucky per album sale. And I'm like, but they're not doing anything for you. And then they go, we do all this stuff for you. I go, now we'll go to the now moment. Have you seen what Kevin does? Okay, so Kevin's does everyone's job here. And I'm sure his studio is fucking clean too, bro. Everything you guys do, I see this kid do all day.
But that's how it is now. Everyone's doing it for themselves.
Yeah, you don't need you.
Right.
Like, but we all need a little bit, but we don't need the monster.
No, don't need the man.
Yeah, you don't need to do it all by yourself. You have a little team with you and whatever. However, you don't need the man. Yeah, you are on fire today. I love you so much.
No, I love you
And we're gonna leave the show with that.
Okay.
Thank you all so much. Yo, Kev, you know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. But we do have more stuff to discuss that on the up and awesome level, because now you heard before I just actually was supposed to talk to you before the show about this, but it just seemed to fit. You're there anyway, and I'm not trying to hide anything. Like the music is gonna come out
No matter what. Yeah,
like
it's coming.
what are you holding on to? And
Right.
Kev it has been sending so this is what a real artist does. So he's got some music that's just music.
Right.
We listened to it
Right.
yesterday, and I'm
Right.
like, this is great for a
They're-
fucking video
they're
game,
just
for this, for
different
this,
tracks.
for this,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
for this. Oh, Jesus Christ, for this. I was freaking
Yeah.
out.
Because he's giving you everything.
And
He's not holding back and saying.
And he's like, yeah, I didn't even think, because I bet
Right.
it's the idea from over here.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. And then last night I was reading my lyrics, and I'm like, well,
Yes.
I'm writing. And then you were like, no, am I bothering you? I'm like, no. I'm going over everything. I have to do this part. You can talk the whole time. I need to just edit. I was editing so much stuff, and I realized, and what did I say? All of my stuff is dope, but there's a lot of stuff I thought was dope that
Right.
I'm no longer into at all.
'Cause you're in a
It's
different
not even
place.
reading dope to me
You're
anymore.
in a different place.
And then other shit I wrote that I thought wasn't complete sounds so good that it doesn't sound like me.
You're in a different place.
And I'm like,
You're
that
in a
don't sound
different
like
place
Frank. That
because
sounds like Frank.
I feel it too. Like the kitchen is closed. The cabinets are not getting smaller. The apartment is not getting smaller. And we're in a different place. It's like you said, perspective, and you hit it on the head, because I can do this. I can look at something from 12 different layers, and I can build a plan, and I can figure out how to get from here to there and get things done. And I'm the one that does all the work in the background, and then I just present it as because I've worked out all the kinks, and Frank's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. But Frank is now seeing things from different perspectives and realizing that there are no limits anymore, because
I was told to take the restrictors off.
take the restrictors off.
Why, you think you're not good enough?
Even when you're putting stuff in the vortex, you don't put it in with a price tag on it. It doesn't matter what it costs. If you have an idea of what you need or want or think is going to help you get to the next level, it doesn't matter what it costs. You have to take the price tag off. I mean, I'm not saying you can buy something that's $1 million. Like, we can't buy $1 million home. It's not going to happen. But we can get the ideas for free. I mean, we can look at anything and get the ideas.
Or you could take when property values recorrect a 600 and make it into $1 million home.
Of course, you can make anything into anything that you want. But now that we realize that, because we've done so much research, now they're just walls. Like, we're looking at stuff now, and it's like, I don't care what it looks like inside. Let's look at the outside property. Like,
you got
inside, it's just walls. Anything can be fixed or changed, or
we could just say obliterate everything.
Right.
This is what we want.
Whatever, and we can do it any way we choose,
Mhm.
right? Because we can. And now it's like, no, I'm worth more. And when you declare to the universe that you're worth more, your family, your kids, your time is worth more, the universe says, okay, you're correct, and takes all the bullshit away.
Yeah, and you say it without desperation. I know.
No,
you say it from this place.
Declare it.
You declare it.
Yeah. And then the universe takes all that fodder away. Look,
yes.
We had Thanksgiving, and it was sad because it's the first Thanksgiving without Pop. Things are different. Family isn't the way
it's just
it
smaller,
used to be. Everything is different.
Weird,
My family is disintegrating. It's horrible. But we had a beautiful day. We got through it. We had a beautiful day.
I didn't feel like I had to get through it. I watched Venom with you guys.
No, I had a good day. It was hard
ate.
for Mom. No, it was very hard for Mom.
No, but she was just hanging.
She was
said
just
to me,
hanging.
This is the best for me. She didn't want to lift
Yeah,
didn't
she wanted to be treated well, and she was, and she had a good time, and we had fun the day before because we were prepping and we
Oh,
were
yeah, that was
smoking
great.
and laughing, and we had edibles, and that was a mistake. But we were like, we had a good time. Like I brined this turkey like it was a 27-pound turkey. Said it was a 9-pound turkey cooked in 2 hours. So that was bullshit. But it was the first time I didn't put it on the scale. We didn't weigh it. I took the
lies. It's all lies.
I took the weight off the bag. Usually we weigh it on the scale, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to weigh it. I figured it 3 hours, and then it took 2 hours. But it was a good day, as best as it could be. It really was.
Inside of that good day, you know, we did 1,000 things.
I know, and fun stuff.
Stuff that wasn't, I don't know, it was all interesting, but even things that are like responsibilities.
Yeah, we're okay. Yeah,
It
like
w-
setting up and
Or
washing
throwing out,
dishes.
doing dishes,
throwing
throwing
out
shit
garbage
out.
9 times.
Nothing
Yeah,
felt like work.
sure. Yeah, it
But
was good.
everything got done, and I was satisfied in between.
And Frank hosted his first holiday,
Yes.
and it was a success.
Yes.
You hosted your first holiday, so that was good.
I'm tired of worrying about anything that's not, I don't know what is considered not worthy to worry about, but I'm giving it
to the universe,
all of it.
Yeah.
And because the only way to science it is to see.
Yep, and it's working.
And then Josh talks about this, having like 1,000 signs.
Yes.
We talked about this a while ago on the show.
Yes.
Yes,
you're right. You're right.
Like telling him, just take pictures randomly. Take a picture now. Click. Take a picture now. Click. Turn around. Take a snap. He was doing this all day. He was taking a shit, reviewing the pictures, and they're like, blow the picture up. Look.
Right.
And then he saw the
answers are all there. Yeah.
Thing in all the pictures he found in all these pictures, and then he freaked out. He called me. He was like, no, it's all around me the whole time. The name was here and the number was there. Literally my fucking birthday. And then this, and then the sticker that said this. And then I turned around in another place, took photos, and the same sticker was in the other photos.
Yes.
With everyone.
But it's happening with you, with the addresses of the houses that we're looking for online, with the birds, with the
grandma's name,
and your mom coming
like,
here, and the timing and everything.
You can't turn away. You turn away. You go, oh, what about? And then you look and go, oh, you too.
Same thing.
Right. So when you give into that, you get away from the, and you just kind of roll with it, and you're like, oh, okay. Like I find myself going, oh, you exist as well. You're here too. Welcome, greetings. Of course, no matter what. But there's been I can't.
No freak out,
there's
right?
No
because
freak
when
out
you
thought.
Break it down logically, and you say, like we did today with the houses, like, okay, this is doable. This is how we would do it. How would you afford that? We can do plan A, plan B, and plan C. Oh, okay, that sounds like a good idea.
I'm in the right timeline too.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard people that I could have swore were not really with crypto, thinking that it was the NWO 100%.
I know.
And then they came out.
Still, I know.
But they were people that have a really trustworthy background, where they're like, no, crypto's in the future. When the way they're talking about is when Aya showed me the Federal Reserve and what Bitcoin does and what a dollar is and what gold and silver does.
Mm-hmm.
When she showed that to me, it was like, Sergio and I we smoked DMT, and it turned into an economics class. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm in school, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, but they showed it to me, and now remember that was when it was $800, $700.
Look, the signs are there that we listened to a very good podcast, a woman who channeled, but this is before Trump became president. And she said, when you see these signs happen, you know that the transition to 5D is definitely happening. It's like when they changed the laws for animal cruelty. And like now it's slowly coming around. Like now they're going to try to stop testing with animals, like not nationwide, not just like one company or one area or one laboratory. It's going to be like nationwide. Stop animal. Like
they said they said octopus and something else are sentient life.
Exactly.
In certain areas. That's now they won't touch them anymore.
I know.
No more food. No more.
And it's funny too, because like all these signs, so they're not like, it's not like plague signs like locusts and frogs and you know, the seas turning red. It's when you see legislation being changed. Like now I got a piece of mail and it should have said the IRS.com, but it said the US Treasury. So I think they're no longer going to be calling the IRS. Now, I could be wrong. I think they're going to be calling it the US Treasury in the future, which is good because the IRS is not a federal government. The IRS is not federally run anyway. It's a private institution. So let it be the US Treasury. But these signs that we heard back in 2016, 2017, everything is happening now. Like, you know, I mean, it's just all being laid out in front of us. All these conspiracies are coming true. Like that, they're no longer conspiracies; they're actually fact now. That like things are unfolding now, and like now is go time for us. Everything we've said all along
In
is
a
happening.
year, nobody's going to say
know.
Hollywood wasn't raping children.
No, of course not. And
Everyone's
and
gonna be
you know,
like-
and no one's going to be shocked and in awe anymore. And you know, it's like no one. We still haven't gotten the phone call. You're like, you know what, you were right about everything, but it doesn't even matter.
You're not
because-
getting that.
But now we're seeing the signs, so we know we're close. We know things are happening.
You'll get the call that, oh, did you know
Yeah,
that the
did you
Federal
know?
Reserve is not federal? And you're like, what? Did you know that they've been lying to us the whole time? Well, when we told you that 7 years ago.
Yeah, and so now
And he
Frank
told
and
me to
I
sell
just
my
go,
Bitcoin.
really? That's great. You know, like
yeah, now
we're
we just
really,
go, oh,
we
okay,
just
great. Oh, you did it.
keep going along with it. But you know, I mean, all these things are happening. So, you know, I mean, things are changing whether you realize it or not. You know, they're happening around you and to you and you know, I mean, you can choose to be a part of it, you can choose to pull away from it, but either way, acknowledge what's happening because it's happening.
I got 8 songs from 15 years ago that are all really good fucking songs, all the way up into songs from like 7 years ago that literally called everything that's happening. You've heard them.
Yeah, I've heard them many
With
many
me
times.
just going off about
Mhm.
how they're fucking injecting us and they're coming through and the pedophiles this and the
Right,
UFOs
but
and the
it's all
gold and
it's
silver's
all
fake and then
unfolding
here it
now.
comes. Oh my god! And I'm like, what the fuck is this? But now we're here.
Right, because that
It's
this
not a
is where
song
we
from
are.
10 years. It's the
Yeah,
now moment.
It's all unfolding. Yeah, totally.
Those were all meant to explode in the moment. So yeah, if you guys want to hear some crazy shit, check out some of my heist click tracks. HEISTCLICK, Watchtower and
Oh,
Rise
tell
of
them
the
about the site,
Chemicals.
too. Oh,
Yeah, we got to talk about some shit.
yeah, the
Those-
site. So now, hopefully everyone who had a problem, their problem was addressed. If it wasn't, and you're trying to purchase something on the site, please message us or message
Yeah, no, I got
me or
everything
Frank,
under control.
and then
It's been
then
pretty
it'll
groovous.
be taken care of. So, you know, we're trying to take back
Full control.
full control, and Frank's been trying to do that, but it's been a slow process. So
Because I had to learn how to do everything
So
from start
there
to
have
finish,
been issues
including
that
just
came
the
up.
dead business stuff.
but so far so good. We've been able to
Hold on.
handle everything.
So Christy's in the group right now. What's up, Christy? How you doing? We love you. She asks, can I ask, what does it feel like to be with your twin flame? Do you want to take that?
What it feels like?
Well, because we've discussed this before. I don't think we feel. Do you believe in twin flames?
I don't
Because
know.
I don't really feel.
Look, I do
that-
believe in it. Do I think it's us?
It's
I
that
don't
which
know.
completes the connection rather than twin flame.
I don't know. All I know
'Cause-
is with Frank, I've never felt this way about anyone. I was married. I was in a what I thought, well, that was a horrible relationship, but I had been in big person relationships before. Frank is not my first real boyfriend. He's the end of the line. Like, this is the end of the line. But there is an ease that comes with this relationship, and it's a friendship, and that's all I can say about that. Romance and sex and going places and doing fun things are wonderful, but we're in a very specific situation, and for two people to come together and live in such tight quarters during this time.
My mother said it. The fact that you guys have not killed each other, I go, nah, I don't think it's
No.
ever gotten to kill each other.
No, I
levels.
mean, we've had moments, but
Arguments that don't last more than the argument.
No, because that's the way it is. I mean, it's a friendship because the rest fades. The rest goes away. You know, like you
want to be part of it. That's the other thing. Like, this is what I'm saying. When we walk away from the distractions, I'm interested in Paula.
Right.
I'm interested in my
being
home.
present. Yeah.
I'm interested in the now moment. I want to be with my fucking cats. I don't want to take pictures of my cats, even though I do. And I do have fun. I'm not saying walk around in a fucking robe and go give away everything. You can have all of it, but be
present.
Be present with it. Like, I have the giant robot right here with a couple of action figures.
Oh yeah,
every
and we got
day I press the robot's
and
chest
we got
to
a
activate.
scarf and a hat for Christmas.
I argue with him daily.
He
Helps me talk shit to Paula. I also remind him constantly on how he didn't win, and now he services me. Get my blunts, bitch. Do I need to draw you a schematic?
And then he just stands there anyway.
And then he just stands there and goes,
whatever.
Listen, be present with it, or put it the fuck away, or get rid of it.
Don't play with it, or don't play with it. Whatever. But
appreciate it, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
but
having
Frank is
stuff with no
Frank
appreciation.
is a friend. Frank is a bestie. So that's all I could say about that. I mean, it's so many wonderful things, and so many. It's a family, you know. That's what it is. It's a family when it comes down to it. It's like beyond everything else, you know. You need someone that you can have in your corner, and you need someone that you can trust, and someone who has your back. And if you can find those things, you know.
All right. So when
then that's it.
Find out the first thing about a comic book thing or an action figure. I mean, these are frivolous shit, but it doesn't matter. We live together. We talk. We have our favorites and whatever. Something happens in the Marvel, whatever, you know, a thing has been released of sex offenders, whatever.
Right.
I'll start going, oh, you know what happened while you were asleep? So what happened? Let me get coffee, right? And the blunts rolled and we start talking. Like, you got to want, like, my first reaction is, oh, I wonder, you know, I can't wait to tell her, or, you know, oh, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then look what's happening. Let me show you this picture. I was showing you pictures before.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh yeah, they carved into the mountain because they didn't have, this guy had land and it was like a hill and he just carved.
They terraced it. So they didn't have to fully landscape it.
It was fantastic. I said everything in this picture is everything we're going to do, except it's put on the terrace.
It's graded,
thing.
yeah. It's not graded.
And you could obviously see he's taking it from his porch.
Right.
That the deck that we want to have.
Right.
So how do we know?
It's relatable.
Yeah. I was totally like, oh, this dude's
we could do that. Yeah. He did it. We could do it.
Why else would you buy a backloader?
Right.
If you're not going to fucking
use it.
Backhoe this shit.
Right.
Clean that. Dig that out. I go, that's not that wide. It's as wide as a car.
Commercial sales. I'm telling you.
I could do that.
Go to a commercial place.
You give me a fucking couple of blunts and a jug of water.
Yeah.
And go, listen, go figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go out there. I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And I'll scream to you, what does it look like from there?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just like a fucking weirdo. And you'll go 2 feet over to the left, a little more. No problem.
Right.
Like, what else do I have to do?
Just do it.
No, but this is what I mean. I could be inside scratching my balls. Oh, I'm going to play a video game. There's nothing wrong with that. But for those people that can't handle that, like I can't handle the rejection from the video game. I want to put the controller through the screen. My mind can't handle it, but what I could handle is real life simulations and holographic realities where reptilians literally come right up to me and fucking blow their snot in my fucking face and then tell me that I'm the fucking food. So if you could do that, I could talk to you. If you can't stand inside of that at minimum, fuck off. Like I can't even fuck around with you right now.
There you go.
Right? So if you're like, oh, aren't you so scared? It might be an extra acre. Well, let me put it to you like this. What happens if you bought the house of your dreams? It's the exact size and the exact price, but it just came with 220 acres. What would you do? Oh, I got to maintain that? No, it just comes with the 200. It comes with it like a Happy Meal.
Or you could buy a house that's worth $1 million 3/4 of a mile away
right down the
and
road,
have a strip of grass
strip like 30
and
feet
a tiny little backyard,
by
20,
6
20,
feet.
20 by 30. Not even. Maybe
The backyard's 20
15
by
by
30.
15. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. So, like that's not going to
You
work
could have
for
no,
us.
no. You have wait. We forget they have bars on the windows too, so you
Yeah.
get to live like you're in a fucking
in a
cage.
bird cage. Yeah, because everything has bars on the windows.
I can't take it no more.
Like a bird cage. So, again, it's personal choices. And, I'm tired of people saying like, oh, you don't like your mom did it today. Oh, you don't need any of that. And it's like,
Perhaps
I had to shut it and say, okay, and just say nothing because,
no one's going to understand
until they see it, because you're not going to understand until you see it, because it doesn't make sense to anyone but you.
You
It
ask
shouldn't
anyone
make
that's
sense.
ever succeeded in anything, if they've ever listened to anyone telling them
no,
or they
and
don't
didn't
understand,
do it.
then
Yeah.
they would have been failures their whole time.
Exactly.
That's how this works. That's their
adversity
to show you the factor. You can't. Oh, ooh,
you can't
and then
think
you
that
go,
big.
no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
No, you can't think that big. You can't strive that high. You can't. I was told I can't my whole life, and I did. So,
It seems that we're at an impasse in our
exactly. It's
our perception and awareness.
Yeah.
So
So
you go on your road, I'll go on mine.
Right.
So let's not worry about it. Eventually, we'll all meet back up again. It's not even that big of a deal.
Exactly.
Everyone will understand why it happened and whatever. Just let it go. Let's go. We got to walk our path. It's our time. And this is why it gets hard to do certain things. Like, how many hours do you have in the day to do the things that you compare yourself to do of heavy duty responsibilities and or whatever?
There's not much time. My sister is a single mother. She's
more than everyone.
She has zero time to get anything done. I feel bad taking time. We text and I'll talk to her at work because I can't call her at home because she has no time. Aiden has such a strict bedtime because they start school at 7:30 in the morning. So she has to be from the Bronx into the city by I forget where it is. It's by Lincoln Center, I think. At 7:30 in the morning. And he has to shake the principal's hand, walk in, and start school. Like,
that is crazy.
That is so she has no
time
time to negotiate anything between the time she gets out of work, feeds him, gets him home, and he goes to bed. So, it's rough. I mean, Frank and I are spoiled. We're blissing out. We have a beautiful life. I mean, we may live on a budget, but we don't have restrictions like that. We can do everything at the pace we choose. Like I said, now we have to start making the dough for all the cookies for Christmas because we're giving cookies out for Christmas gifts, and we're baking. So now we have to start preparing dough. And I said it to Frank earlier today, and he was like, I have the chef coat. I'm ready. You just tell me when. And I was like, we'll start Monday. We'll just start making doughs and then freezing them. And then we'll decide what days we're going to actually do the bake-offs. And he was like, okay, I'm ready.
I'm fucking ready.
I'm ready.
You see, here's the thing. We got to do. Okay, let's go. But see, look, my face didn't even change. But it's okay. We're doing it.
Let's just do it.
You want that? This is how we get to it. This is how we do it. We get in the car and we go. We walk. We go. Does it have to be paid for? Is it something of the spirit? Is it something of the mind?
What is it? What do we?
Is it a
what
conversation?
do you need?
What is it? Because we're doing it. If that's what is necessary right now, or whatever, put it on the calendar. So I'm excited to be part of the uplifting. Look, if you can see and I can't make anyone see, but there are those with the sight. And when you see it and it's not up there and it's not the characters looking in at you or your higher self yelling down, it's like in Batman when the guy's like, where are you? And Batman's like, right here. And he just turns around and he's right. You're right there. That my higher self is right there. He's like squeezing in,
Right.
and we're getting expanding more. And he's like, dude, we're gonna be one.
Right.
And but you're the singularity, so it's the one of all of you, all the you know. So I'm like, this is fucking great. And Aya's not 25 feet tall, going, oh, little baby. She comes in and goes, my son. And we talk, my son, S-U-N, right? N, my son. She knows who we are, the glowing ones, those who are sent forth from Source itself as Source itself. Call it whatever the fuck you want, right? But I am the all, and there's nothing no one's going to do to stop any of it, right? Oh, you son of a bitch.
I got it.
Good catch. Good catch. Interesting. So there's nothing anyone's going to say, so it's not going to knock me off my course. When you stop dealing with the devil and his dick, it stops fucking putting itself in front of you, getting in your way. Get the fuck out of here with this thing. Just do your business and move on. Have a good time doing it, though. Enjoy yourself. Okay, now if you can see what that does when you enjoy yourself inside your environment. I was telling Paula, this is like a starship we created, our own UFO. It's an 800-foot apartment, right? With all of us in it. And at any time, we can just port with it, go anywhere. It's like whatever doorway we walk through and we all enter and sit, it's now, that's the place, period. And our energy is going to fucking turn it into our thing.
Right.
It has no choice. It's just empty space, or it's just an area that needs to be caretaken. Like I was trying to explain this. Could you take him?
Yeah. Come on, baby. Yeah.
Come in, Nunu.
Come on. I got you. Come on. Come here.
I had this dream, and I talked about it like maybe a year ago, where Reggie was running through a property, like this cat run, and I was witnessing the cat running unaware that something was chasing her, and it was something spiritual, and it was coming out of the dark of the property I was standing on, and it was coming for the cat, right? So it was just this incorporeal feeling, really vile. You just knew the shit like was getting darker around you, and then, oh, here it is, whatever the fuck. And it went to roll up on Reggie, and then we caught it. It was a trap.
Right.
And I saw my higher self standing there walking like the light body. And then all these other characters, they netted this beast and said, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be here now.
Right. You know you're not alone.
And then this is it. And he goes, but there's nowhere to go. Like, I don't know what to do. You start talking like breaking character. Like, but I'm supposed to run. Like, what do I do? Like, there's no place left to run. There's no place to go. There's no rock to hide under. What do I do? And they're like, well, you got to go. And it was the conversation of, oh, am I being destroyed? And is it death or whatever? And it's like, no, you're an evil motherfucker. You're getting transmuted. Okay. However, you're going to come with us then. Right? And the beast has a choice. No or yes. Either way, you're changing.
Right.
But something in the intention, even of the darkest character, I said, I'm on the property, and that thing is on the property, except it's white. And it's like, hey, did you know? And it's like bringing a message from the other property to keep me informed from like elementals and shit. Like it's the way I'm getting with you in the house with everything it was getting with me on the property. Like
sharing more information.
Like we're caretakers of this together, Frank. And I was like, that's different. And they said to me, is it any different when you watched your demon change? I said to my demon, we're going to fight the AI or it's going to kill me, but then you don't exist.
Right.
You don't get to exist. And it was like, I want nothing more than you being fucking, like, it didn't even want me dead. It wanted me corrupted in a way that you would never. It was so dark and evil. And then I'm like, yeah, well, the AI is not going to do that. They're just going to remove me permanently, which removes you permanently. And then there's nothing. It's just a mimic of us. And that's not us. So we wouldn't be part of it. And he was like, oh, fuck that. And he changed. You gave him the choice. It's free will. He can now choose, because he's written into the program to kill you, to do what he does to you. That's part of it, part of the hologram. And then, but it's run by consciousness. It's run by a consciousness. And then it changes because it was offered a choice. You mean we're going to do this together, and then I'm going to fucking punch you tomorrow. It's like, well, you could if we survive. But if we don't survive, there's no punching in tomorrow, buddy. It's over. And he was like, no, I got to be the one to do this to you. And so he turned around. We started fighting with the AI. It was like the angels, the demons, the different characters within me that I've always been, that were sitting at that round table having the discussion of who's who and what's what. When the AI came in and just started murdering whoever was sitting there, good or bad or anything in between. And no one can do shit but the singularity, right? Because it's all me. So until I stepped up and the demon was like, what the fuck do I do? I'm like, oh, you could fight with me, or you can choose to fight this thing. But if we don't, we're dead. Like, we're gone. Right. And then it was like, no, I'm with you, bro. And he turned white. The dragons, we remember when I met the dragon for the first time, they were everywhere around me. And I said, there were dragons mad at my dragon for being cool with me. And they were all dark purple and black and shit. I said, my dragon, you're fucking coming with me, bitch. I go, you're mine. You're with me. And the dragon turned white and had big blue eyes. And I went, what the fuck? Like, they shed their scales and became like light being characters, like white flowing and reds and beautiful. Like, I'm like, holy shit. And other dragons were like, you fucking turncoat dragons. They hated the dragons that changed. But what are you going to do? You can't come up here then. Right. You're never going to get to us.
No, because
so there's no repercussion. Yeah, you're gone. Like, you dark ones, though, might have a problem with us later on. With me, it maybe, I'm just saying, like, you run into things like reptilians and all kinds of weird shit. But the dragon energy inside of me goes up so high, you could never hurt or take actionable stances against my beings. And those that rise with me that are not me, even though I'm source, they're all me. But there were dragons there that had nothing to do with me that said, you said we could come if we help. And I said, you got to want to do the work. And they came up and all turned white. So I watched things turn into light beings in front of me, or light characters from dark characters, right, just for being given the choice. Like, you mean if we go, they won't kill us? I'm like, no one's going to kill you. You rolling with me, homie. Like, we'll do this. And all of them over here start doing it randomly. Like, well, we're coming too. Fuck these guys over here. Let's go. Because they know that's their out. Because after that, it's source. It's the frequency shift. What if we are in a, because it does separate, but there's a wall, that frequency wall. We've all hit a wall on the other side one way or another. But what if we get to a point where it's a physical wall, and the etherics and the physical are like shitting because it's like right here. And then they're there physically, but we weren't aware of some, and we are aware of others that aren't changing their frequency. And then you and I and people like us just walk into that like, oh, it's not hard as a rock. It's simple. You walk right through. But the ones that can't get through, it like pushes them off the platform. Yeah. Right. Like, you, not only do you not get in, the energy overtakes the whole thing. Right. And you kind of get shoved off the cliffside. This is why I was saying, like, to the certain beings, like, you're going to be transmuted one way or the other. Right. So it's you either come and do it yourself. Yeah. Or I'm going to come back against your will. Exactly. Thank you. You're the best. I love you. I love you so much. Let me just check this real quick. I want to show you guys something. Let's see. I got to share the screen. Add to stream. I've been playing around on the site a little bit, right? So I'm doing upgrades to everything, and I'm only doing this as a little jammy because it's the holidays and I'm finally getting things back on track. And I always tell you guys, I'm not selling anything, but I do have a website. I never fucking talk about it. It's always just in the intro or whatever. But when new products come out, I want to just show you guys what's going on real quick. Let's just go to it. I got a thing, Frank's Fearless collection. We got new mugs. I took
all the feedback that
I took
everyone
all the
wanted.
feedback that everyone was giving me. Get big mugs, get, you know, different t-shirts and different kinds of sweatshirts. And I kind of put it together with a couple of things. And I just wanted to show them off to you guys real quick. So you get a visual. Maybe you want to run over and check some stuff out. These are giant 15-ounce mugs. And like, it's like the size of the one I'm drinking all the time, the Big Pussy Energy. And we got all different flavors, all different kinds, and it's constantly being updated. I've been like putting 1 or 2 new things up a week. I don't want to overflood the market with anything. I'm not trying to put our designs on everything and just send out products and go crazy. I'm literally not trying to do that. I'm just having the storefront. So we have our stuff. We're Fearless family. We should have a place where we can get our gear if that's what we choose to do. However, it is also where you get the official Sons of the Suns gear. So if you guys are ever interested, you like the music, you want to check out some of the designs, we got basically the album covers, the single covers, some cool graphics on a bunch of hoodies right now. And then we're going to be adding t-shirts as we go. It's very dry in here.
I had the oven on, so I
No, it's
shut it off.
okay. It's all right. I'm just saying it usually doesn't happen to me twice. So go to IamWeAreFearless.com if you're feeling good and up to checking out some of the site. There's so much more there. I'm not good at that self-promotion. Sometimes it feels weird. Maybe because I can do it well if I really put my mind to it, and I know I'd sound like a weirdo.
I don't think you'd sound like a weirdo.
Because I don't do it to push that stuff. I just do it. Like you have to have certain things today. You have to have a website. You should have a couple of things. You should have your saying on a t-shirt and on a mug and whatever, you know, and then great artists came together and put together their styles and everything. And it's like, as we came together, that built the website.
No, I get that.
Right. So it wasn't me going, nah. Everyone came together and did their part, and it created that. So I'm so appreciative. Yeah, so thanks so much for spending your time with us tonight. We appreciate you. We love you. Oh, we did 3 hours tonight.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you guys for spending your time. I appreciate you so much. I'm trying to see what Gary's saying in here. Yeah, Gary, we don't play those games. You just release info, say what you got to say, and let it out of the bag. No one gives a shit. We don't care what Chris Gio says or anyone else says here. We're all individual Fearless. We go in, we get the information ourselves. It's completely different for different perceptions and different people in different areas doing different things and different level ups. So no one person has one right way to do anything here. Right. Okay, with that being said, if you are dealing with anything related to black goo, then you need a purge. Just going to throw that out there, sir. You know, we're collecting it. All of us collect it. But if you're having problems, you're dealing with that, I suggest doing detoxes across the board, and you will get it out, whether it's ayahuasca or DMT or mushrooms or foot ionizers or salt baths or Epsom salts, sages of different kinds, sitting in nature, you know, the products that we put in us, it's in everything. It's everywhere. The 5G frequencies turn on, activate things all over the place. You can totally burn this shit out of you. 100%. Just don't live in fear. Don't worry about it. And there's no escaping the matrix. Everything we literally spoke about tonight is what you do to escape the matrix. There's no exit door. It's you. It's you. It's always been you. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just talking to the whole thing based on some of the stuff. I'm just yeah, no one person has the answers. It's detox time. If you're worried in any way, you probably need the detox anyway. That's just how this works.
Right.
When you're sitting in the, I don't know, you're purging it. That's you doing like a cell mitosis when
Yeah,
it
it's
shakes
already
and
happening.
then it
Yeah.
separates. Nicholas Ervos would call it removing the red dye from the water. It's very difficult, but we do it. Right? So there is no running, escaping, or going home. But this is it. Maybe you do go home, but you know what that means? You go off world, or you die and you leave your fucking body. That's all this means. There's no rapture. We're all here. It's going on right now. Your body's the antenna. You tune it in. There's no magic touch or having to listen to me either. There is no knowledge that you have that you don't want to blow through somebody's perceived mind so you don't interfere with it. That's all fucking bullshit, dude. All of that is bullshit. All of it is bullshit. There ain't nothing you can say except your piece of the puzzle that maybe we haven't heard that wouldn't collapse anyone's brains here. This is what I'm getting at. This is all bullshit. Everyone's in a perceived area perceiving what they perceive, which doesn't mean it's right for me, you, or the next guy. But I'm out here sharing it, just giving it away because fuck, you might be on the ledge. Because I was on the fucking ledge. And you know what? I may not get along with Chris Gio now, but that motherfucker saved me. He helped put me in position to do this for myself. Right. So regardless of whatever happened with us and them, I still hold them in high regards. Well, it don't mean I got to fucking go down on the ship with having to escape the Matrix. One thing has nothing to do with the other. Apples and fucking oranges. There ain't nothing here frightening anymore. The frightening thing is not standing up and saying no. The frightening thing is taking the shots and putting the poison in your body. The fucking not having a fucking backbone and trying to go to bed every night and sleep comfortably. That's a fucking problem. All right. Not being healthy or even considering drinking fresh water or getting a fluoride filter for your fucking shower. It's not ingesting fucking all these little retarded things that you think is going to make everything fucking better and go away. You got to do the whole thing. There's no in by proxy and there's no information out there that's going to fucking devastate someone's fucking path in the middle of the fucking path of the people that have been walking it the whole fucking time. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's crabs in a bucket. You get to a certain spiritual level. I got the info, but you don't got the info, bro. And I'm not making fun of you. I just see a lot of this stuff going on and it bothers me. And I call out all this shit, all of it. Right? I look at this and I go, what are you, fucking mad? Just tell your story and sell it in the fucking book. Don't fucking hold the info over anyone's head. Gary, I don't mean to.
He's not talking about
I'm not talking about you. I love you, man. I'm sending you love. I know. I see you resonate with most of Frank. I love you, man. I'm just saying in general, you see it. I see it. They see it. We all see it. We're all together in this. Gary, you should not be on any, if you have any questions or anything, this goes for Gary, Nathan, Dawn, Michael, everyone. If I see Dawn and I'm like, I got a question or whatever, I ask, right? I need
more info.
I need the more info. I just need to flow with it. Not that one person's going to say the thing that saves me. No, you might open the door. You might help me, point me in the right direction. This is why I say people need people. Reaching out and then making the moves without any of these restrictions. Well, I have and you don't, and what this is the team that gets you in. I can't. That's why the team is here. The 300. It's the great 300. It always has been. Maybe it always will be. Maybe it'll grow. Paula swears the day we leave, it'll grow.
The day the moving truck pulls away.
I'll put my 300 up against the fucking planet any day of the week. You give me another fucking year or two on this planet, I'll put myself up against the whole planet. And it's not a me versus you versus the world. You just ain't got it. Not you. I mean, it just comes off the wrong way.
No,
I just mean there's nothing nobody's going to be able to do, period. And I mean this in the best way.
You're not going to be able to stop it.
You're not going to be able to stop it, right? Like you hear this on all different levels. God wins. Here comes the whatever. They used it for a bunch of Trump campaigns, all these little slogans and whatever. It's all positive light shit though. Without take the Trump thing out of it. God wins.
Right.
God wins. Here you go. He goes, you thought you were going to get God wins. Da-da-da-da-da. You cannot get away with that. This happens. Source wins. Creator is here. We got to do this together or it's going to be fucking weird. And we're going to stop popping off. And it's going to be like, well, that's not what you said. And that's not what he said. Who fucking cares? Let's share it across the board and just go. It's not worth making the money on. Go make your money on Bitcoin. Go make your money on something different. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Do what you got to do. Everybody needs you because there's 3D people that need that shit. Because if you don't, this is something I kind of despise about people personally. I got to put a high price tag on something to make you believe it works.
Right.
I don't even understand that.
We were talking about that the other day.
I'm giving that shit away.
It's
you won't fucking do nothing for free. You won't drink it for free. I put a fucking price tag on that shit. I got no time all of a sudden. That's weird. I never like that. So I always keep it like right. It's energy exchange. Sorry for that last burst of weirdo-ness.
Okay. He's got a cut right
there. Yeah, I see it. I see it from here. You sure you didn't do that to him, scratching his face?
Did,
or is that him rubbing his...
He might have done it when
he does that shit with his hand.
With his nail.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love all of you. Yeah, we all have our own matrix. And Gary, I understand. I completely understand. We work at our level of perception at it. You'll make a video, it'll explain it much better. And I'll watch your video too. I'll be like, yeah, explain it, baby. The point is that we got to do this as a team together one way or another. We all have the puzzle piece. We just throw it down and let's fucking do this, man. Yeah. Let's do this. Right? Like you know how to do something, right? I know how to do something. You show me, I show you. Right? And then you go off, do your version of it. Right? And I'm wish nothing but happy, healthy. And if you need me, and then we branch out from there. Everybody says to me once we hit a certain level with ayahuasca, now what do we do?
Yeah, now what?
Now what? And I'm like, now you live. And they're like, that's it? What about the ascension? That's how you ascend.
You live.
You have to live
your best life.
You have to actually go have a good time and enjoy yourself and not be a depressing fucking Debbie Doolittle. You got to be you. You got to open the doors. You got to face the shadow beings. You got to look into the darkness and say, I fucking love you. Come out, man. Mm-hmm. Come out of there. You got to shine the light in every crack and crevice. You got to pick up a fucking broom. You got to start sweeping and mopping and fucking cleaning. You got to do your physical space. You got to do your around space. You got to do your inner space. You got to do your outer space. This is how this shit works, man. So all these videos, all this conversation, all this shit's fucking groovy, right? Now go do it. How do I do it? I just told you I'd do it doing my fucking dishes. If you can't do it while you're taking, I put, Joe gave us this awesome unicorn horn.
Yeah, I know.
So I was told to put it. It was right during the eclipse. It was during the day. It was so fucking, sun was so bright. I put it out there for 15 minutes and I heard ding, ready.
Yep.
I took it. I'm like, where do I put this? Because it's dangerous. I don't want nobody stabbing themselves in the face or falling on it. And then I was like, oh, the fucking thing in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Why would I put it in? Paul's not going to want it. No, wait a second. It's a unicorn horn. It's right over the toilet. Every time I go and sit on the bowl, it's directly above my head.
Right. And it's by the plants.
And it's by the plant. It's right next to the plant.
Yep.
But it's right. And it clears your mind.
Yeah.
While you're on the well, isn't that great news?
Yep.
Little things go long fucking ways. I love you guys so much.
I love you guys too.
And Oscar loves you and says thank you so much for being here with us.
Very happy.
And a little bit of compassion and understanding, but move yourself into fucking position. No more playing around. No being not worthy. right? Be worthy all day, all night. Remember that, because that's what's going to drive the whole thing. I'm worthy. I do deserve it. Here's my imagination showing it to me. It's not a daydream and a fuck up and a weird. Enter that space. Show it to me. Show it to me. Make it go from a desire of this weird shit into something so pleasant of a thought, right? Like, oh, and like you were saying, imagine having string beans and they just cascade. Now, naturally, I don't want that property. I don't want to dig that fucking trench. It's not for me. However, you were like, and this is how we were both looking at it. Oh, you could put string beans here and grow it down. You were telling me, and it could just drape down on every level. And I started to see our version, what it would look like. And though it wasn't for me and you, it was fucking epic. And it was a great thought. So it went from some maybe 10 years ago or 6 years ago, even, you can't have that. Even the thought you couldn't have.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to have that thought. You're not worth $1 million. You're not even worth 100,000. You fat little fuck. What do you think you're worth? What do you think you're worth? There's a million fat little bald-headed motherfuckers like you everywhere on the planet. What are you worth? And it's like, worth more than that, homie.
Right.
Peace out. And then you realize when you let go of that chain, you just float away like a balloon. And you're like, oh, look at that. Look at me.
Yeah.
Not needing that
approval
shit.
or
anything. I want to say you, but it's not, because there are different yous on the next level.
Yeah.
Like you come up on the higher frequency, it's a smaller amount of people for sure, but it's genuine people all of a sudden, like really genuine, that aren't trying to play a game, that aren't thinking that you're trying to play a game. It's just, hey, I really mean it. Hello. Hey, you got info? This is great. Wow, that was a great thing. I find myself, like my mother, I think, thinks it's weird I watch the dodo.
Oh, yeah.
More squirrels. No, yes, lots of squirrels. You know why so many squirrels? I don't fucking know, but I think they're so cute, right? Like under Aya, when they were like manifest something, I manifested a squirrel with a football helmet and then about 1 billion squirrels. But a lot of people manifest things like poop and dirty things, like because they can't get their mind out of the gutter. My first thought was a squirrel with a little jet helmet on. And I was like, look how cute he looks. Would have never expected that. It's what makes me find that happy lane, and I'm driving it. I'm driving it. So let's ride this fucking highway together. Nick McDaniel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your generous super chat. We love you, man. We love you. It's good to have you there. And just for that, Beetlejuice. I love it. I appreciate you. I wish I could do more sometimes, but I don't know what more Paula and I would be able to push out of a function. It's like beating a dead horse without bringing guests on until the next thing occurs, which is energetically, which is now nonstop, like rapid fire. But we got to live through this part now together. I was telling Paul the day volume 3 starts is the day the first fucking ship arrives. I'm like, everything shuts down. It's going to be the first set of interviews we do. It's going to be E.T. This is my blue, big-headed, bulbed friend. He has powers of the mind. Tell them. And then you just hear him talking to everyone, but his lips don't move. Yeah, we're going to have fun with this one. All right. I love you guys. Have a great night. Thank you, Paula, for allowing this to happen. Stay fearless, everyone. And remember, the universe rewards bravery.